Yo, yo, yo. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Hope you guys are doing good. DJ Styles, is that you, bro? What's up, man? Good to see you, brother. Shout out to our brother DJ Styles. What's cracking lacking, man? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday, everybody. Hope you guys are doing well. Michelle, how are you, Michelle? Thank you so much for popping in and being here to take care of everyone. Good to see you, Michelle. I love you, chokes. Mahalo nui. Thank you. Let's see. I know we had some of the mastermind group jumping in a little early, like 30 minutes early. Like, that's so awesome. Super crazy. Shout out to my brother Mark, SandmanSoundFactory, who will be my second guest of tonight's show. So excited to, and ready to have a chat with SandmanSoundFactory, man. My scratch fiend brother right there. Hello is in the house. Hello, how are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for coming back. Oh my gosh. I met Hello 5987 on the gaming side. Hello comes from, I met him over at Mark Clark's uh, chat room where he streams all of. Mark Clark is a very gifted gamer and an amazing streamer on Twitch. Humongous following. So those of you that fancy, that likes to watch games, check out Mark Clark, man. Super dope guy. Speaking of dope, Ahi Togni is in the house. Ahi Togni, man, I gotta get you on the show, bro. Let me know when you're available, man. Good to see you, Ahi Togni. Thank you so much for being here. Ricky Omoto is in the house. DJ Garoish is here. What's up, G? How are you, man? Good to see you, brother. What's up, Rick? Nancy Nakamura is here. Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday, Nancy and Rick. Thank you so much. Nancy, we miss you. Lila's here. We're going to have dinner right after. But we will definitely see you soon, Nancy. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you guys. This week's Wisdom Wednesday show, of course, we got the one and only our sister DIVA929. I got her for the first hour, and then we're going to transition and head over to upstate up in Oregon to our brother SandmanSoundFactory. So, Carol Lucero, half a day. Half aloha to you, Carol. How are you? Good to see you. Garoish is in the house. DJ Tantrum is in the house. What's up, Tantrum? How are you, man? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you're following DJ Garoish and as well as DJ Tantrum. Follow Ahi Togni. He streams as well. Obviously, you're going to follow my two guests tonight. And and we get a chance to chat with them for a little bit. Garoish, cheers to you, man. It's actually root beer. It's gourmet root beer. The one and only DJ Elusive is in the house. What up, Elusive? How are you, man? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you so much. Make sure you're following DJ Elusive. Thank you all. So we're going to talk about a bunch of things with my next two guests. I'm looking forward, especially in light of the most recent events that's happening out, mainly here in the USA, of course, Texas and Buffalo, New York, and coming from a law enforcement background, things are funky or crazy. Um, it wasn't a little while ago. I used to carry my gun everywhere I go, and I recently stopped, like the last 6 months. But this is a great reminder and an unfortunate reminder that I got to start carrying again. And I just don't want to take any chances. It could happen anywhere, and I want to get the thoughts of both of my guests and just have that discussion. So aloha to you, DJ Elusive. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about the recent shooting events out in Texas, out in Buffalo, where it was a hate crime. Things like that, just not necessary at all. But I understand mental illness is a really, really big issue here for us amongst the 50 states. it's not reserved for just one group of people. So Claudie Queen, the mod queen herself, is in the house. Claudie Queen, how are you? Happy Aloha Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. Aloha to you. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Shout out to my A team brother, the one and only, the face of the A team, the mayor of Twitch, the one and only Philip Imbuito. Philip Imbuito, man, how are you, Philip? I think Philip is like on day 74 or day 75 of him running, prepping for the marathon. So let's give Philip a big, big hug and let's support Philip in his marathon endeavors. And we appreciate you, Philip, man. Love you, brother. I wish you could be here in July, man. DJ Elusive, mahalo for the host. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you, man. And mahalo to Claudie Queen. Mahalo to the rest of the mastermind group that's here to support Sandman Sound Factory and our sister DIVA929 too as well. So thank you, all of you. Carol Lucero, hafaloa to you. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Uh, yeah, man. Philip. Hey, Philip, when's your marathon? Kathy A is here. Hey, Kathy, what's up? How are you, Kathy? Good to see you. Greg Rich, Greg. I actually jumped on your channel today, and you were just rating out, and I sent you a message, but I think the rate got cut off, and you immediately rated into. I can't remember who you rated into today, but yeah, I caught like literally the tail ending of your stream. Speaking of mastermind group, DJ Jeff B is in the house. My brother Jeff. What up, Jeff? How are you, man? Jeff. Come on, dog, man. Jeff with the 69 bits. And I know that's for Diva. I I know that's for Diva. Nads, 82 Nads. I'm gonna see you in a couple days, yo. Yo, Nads. We'll be in Waikiki Friday night. I'll text you the place. Um, Thursday, I won't be able to see you Thursday, Nats, but I'll definitely see you Friday, and then we'll get together Saturday. I'm off to the outer islands for a couple days, but I'll be back before you leave. So shout out to 82 Nats, who's making his way here to the 808 State very soon, in like tomorrow, I think. So good to see you. Good to have you here, Nats, and looking forward to seeing you very, very soon, man. Our sister Precious Play is in the house. She is the boss mod, the boss lady of our brother Shao Lim. So DJ Shao Lim, he's pushing for partners, so make sure you follow him. Oh man, Naz is flying tonight. Hey, Naz, safe travels, man. Seriously, safe travels because you got precious cargo like those chocolates. Can't wait to have a whole bunch of them. Shout out to our sister Diva929, who I'm gonna bring on like very in like a couple minutes. Uh, Looking forward to having that conversation with my sister right there. Big Rob G206, all the way from Seattle. Good to see you, Rob. Hope all is well, bro. Rob will be here in July. There's a whole bunch of people coming in July for a Twitch meetup. It's something that I guess we're starting. We're gonna do it annually. So if you can make it, July 7th to the 11th is the date. So every day we're gonna be doing something. We'll keep you guys posted. Precious Play is gonna be there. Shalim's gonna be there. They'll be there with their family. So looking forward to that. But let's get this started, man. I met this sister. Where did we meet? We'll have that conversation. But I want to say we met for the very first time at Keepers for Icy Ice's debut on that mix show. So ever since then, and it's my singing partner. She's super dope on a rope. Precious Play. Are we doing a luau? That's in the works. We're trying to figure something out. I'm having dinner tonight with Lila and Princess. So Lila's here because her son is going to school here. So we'll figure out the details and then we'll send it to you guys. So it depends how long you guys are staying. Precious Play. Because I may do something with the stragglers, whoever is still here. There is a plan to do something similar to that after the 11th. So I think what Shalim was telling me, you guys were going to be there for a week. So I actually had you guys in mind too as well. So, all right, family. So without further ado, let me bring this sister of mine in. Chat Ohana, please help me welcome the one and only DIVA929. I think we have you on mute. How do we unmute you?
Muted.
There you are.
I was muted on purpose because I was talking to my son.
Oh, okay. Nice. How
All
are you?
right. I'm well. How are you? Can everybody hear me?
We can
I
hear
hope
you
I'm loud
loud
enough.
and clear. Loud and
Okay,
clear.
perfect.
So I'm gonna step back. I'm gonna have you shout out and send some shout outs to the chat, and then we'll
Oh,
start.
I didn't bring my
So,
glasses though.
oh, I'm sorry.
Let
I'm
me
sorry.
look at my phone. Let me look at my phone. Let's look at the phone. First off, hello, Chat Ohana. Since I'm shouting people out, let's see. Hi, Nancy Nakamura, Rick, my brother. What's up, Mikey B? Big Rob 206, of course, my fam. I see Kathy. Who else is in here? Hi, Michelle. Hey, my pare, Philip and Guido, my cousin. Actually, he likes to now call me cousin. What up, Philip and Guido? Shaolim, hi, Woody. Precious Play, good to see you. Thank you guys for being here. If I miss
Um,
you, you know, charge it to my eyes and the Claritin D and not my heart.
yeah, that's right. Hey, and you know what? People don't realize until they actually do it how difficult it is to follow the chat.
Yeah,
Right?
especially because yours has a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this is I can manage this because I'm
Yeah.
only looking at it. But when you're doing multiple things and trying to read the
Right.
chat, you
Right.
definitely miss a lot of things. I tended to go back and look, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even see that person came in, and I feel so bad, and I'll like whisper them like, I'm so sorry. SandmanSoundFactory, what up?
Yeah. Super crazy. Super crazy. So
Atmospheric. All right.
atmospheric is in the house. No, no worries. No worries. I just want to make sure that we get the proper shout outs in
Oh,
place and in
good.
order.
Anybody
Yeah.
else knows how it is? When I do my interviews, you know, can't catch everybody all the time. We have to do it, in spurts.
Yeah. Sometimes that's just how you got to do it sometimes.
That's what it is.
It is, yes. Ilcat, how are you, Ilcat? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. All right, so sister, so if you can kind of give us a brief introduction of of who you are, where did you grow up, were born and raised, and so we'll kind of just take it from there.
Okay. Um, well, my name is Tiffany, but everybody here knows me as Diva929. Now, I will go ahead and kill this question for those of you who have seen my personal Instagram tag 928. That is what most of my things are. But because when I created my Twitch handle years ago, just to keep tabs on my son who was gaming and wanted to stream, I could not get the 8. So I settled for the next number I like, which is 9. And here we are, stuck forever with it. And I actually like it. So I'm good. End of story. It's not a big, like, long drawn out thing like people think it is.
I
So
don't
now
know.
people know.
There's it's your name's up to debate because our brother Quasi Mandisco said your name is Diva.
Right. Right. Because, we have our girl, Miss Tiff Star, the DJ. Her name is Tiffany too.
Yes.
So to separate us, and because everybody just calls me Diva, I'm Diva. That's what it is. I love it. I live it now at this point, and that's that. So, um, and hey, Quasi. So, um, I'm a little scatterbrained. I told you I took a Claritin
Oh,
D, so give me a
oh, don't
second.
worry about it. Don't worry about it, sis.
Oh, so
It's
I
all
grew
good.
up, born and raised in LA. Southern roots. My whole family's from, Louisiana, from Shreveport. So old school background. I was, only child, well, raised an only child. That's another story for another day. But raised an only child by a single mom and my great aunt. Those were my parents in home with that, took care of me forever. Hence the tattoo I have on my hair that represents both of them and their
Nice.
initials. Um, but yeah, born and raised in LA and been here my whole life. I am well, you already know, I'm a teacher. I'm an educator. I teach pre-K, and I love working with children. See what else.
How long you been teaching,
Dabbled in
sis?
music in and out of my whole life. Been a dancer and a singer my whole life. And I am now an educator full time, a mother of two boys who are my world. They are teenagers. One is getting ready to graduate from middle school and join his brother in high school.
Nice.
Um, so here we are. And then I discovered Twitch during the pandemic, started streaming from a random conversation with Quasi Mandisco. As a matter of fact, it all started with a conversation in his chat because we are both we're not we're geeks, we're nerds, and we're
I love it.
into, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, things like that.
Love it.
And the conversations would go on, and I'm like, I know it's hard to like concentrate on trying to DJ, and we're talking about this kind of stuff, and everybody else probably doesn't want to hear about this. And it turned into, you should stream about that. And I'm like, nobody wants me to stream. You should stream about that. Like different conversations and chats came down to where I was like, maybe I will one day. I don't know. Later, I decided to test it out, mess around with it, and started a just chatting stream. And it started off with just Saturdays. It was like a coffee and chat. All the homies who were DJs and streamers would come and hang out with me in the mornings, and we would chop it up, play music in the background. We would play trivia and whatnot. And then once a week, I would do a geek talk, which I still do. It's just not as consistent as it should be. But Geeking Out with DIVA929 was born, and I would start off with different topics. We started off with like Lovecraft Country, and then I would do like a trivia every week, and I had prizes, and it just kind of grew from there. We talked about like Disney characters and misunderstood villains, and it would be like deep conversations that you would never expect about cartoon characters and and fictional characters, and things like that. And it just kind of grew. So I also wanted to start interviewing, and so I would interview female DJs because I didn't see that as a presence on Twitch enough for me. When I saw interview shows and things like that, I didn't see the women being highlighted. So I decided to start Diva Talk.
Nice.
So I interviewed. I started off with Metaspin as my very first interview,
Mhm.
and it just grew from there. It went from once a month to twice a month to now I do DJs and female streamers because there's so many female streamers that do things that are not DJing that are dope and can be highlighted as well. So that's where we are now. And then somewhere in there, I decided to dabble with DJing, got a
Yeah.
controller, had
Yeah.
some help from some friends,
And now you're
and
co-headlining real ones, and you're at the igloo, and you're
right, almost
streaming
a year
here, you're
later,
DJing
I
there.
opened
You're
up
just
Real Ones. What the heck?
look at you, girl. Look at
or,
you.
or as your emo says, what the hell?
What the hell? What the hell, man? What
What
the
the
hell?
hell? So that's in short. We're here now. I've been streaming over a year now, almost a year and a half.
How crazy is that?
Atmospheric wants to know about my ethnic background because he wants me to let everybody know that I am a quarter Panay. Yes, I am African American. My great grandma and Filipina, and there's other things in there as well. I know there's some Native American, but a good portion of it is African American, and then I am for sure a quarter Panay. My great grandfather came straight from Manila, married a woman from New Orleans, had my
Wow.
grandmother, and my Lola was half Filipino. But unfortunately, we were not immersed in any of the culture, which really sucked. So what I did get from it was from friends that I knew growing up, and then what I get now from all of the people I'm surrounded by in that community who have embraced me, who I love them so much, even before they knew that. Gene Hove put me on blast actually about that before I started streaming, and we were all in like a Zoom or something randomly, and he's like, "You guys
Yeah.
know Diva is Filipino," and it started from there. So yes, and I do have a tattoo for my Lola here too. I have a master key that says Lola on my arm. So
That is dope. That makes so much sense. Where the singing talent comes from both sides, right? From both sides.
for
So
both sides,
from
I'll
both
take that.
sides. Yeah. Like so dope, so dope. I mean, if you guys haven't heard Diva sing, oh my god! Woo. You know, sometimes when you hear something, there's like no words that can express it. That was that's that was the expression for me when I heard you. I was like, whoo, woo, woo.
Stop it, Don.
Shout out to the mastermind group with the Ninja Raid.
Oh my
DJ Mel
goodness.
itself. Yeah. Remember it was over at Stress's place, right? Stress was streaming and it was myself and Jaybird was over at his place. And that's when uh yeah, and I did a set and at the end of my set I told Jaybird like, hey, just jump on with me and Stress, like jump on with me, but just go with it. Just follow me. And the professionals, being the true professionals that they were, right? They jumped
Yeah,
in and
y'all
towards the
set
end
me up.
we did. We're like, okay, this is the end of the stream. So shout out to Jaybird. Thank you to Stress for hosting this and letting me be here for the very first time. By the way, Stress, when I'm on your stream, you need a bigger TV, man. And then we bring you on, right? And then we're like, okay, let's bring Diva on, and of course, Diva being here with everybody else. By the way, Diva. And then we sang a duet. We sang a
Yes,
duet.
we
Yeah.
did. We did. And it was really fun. And I really liked singing with you. You know, I love me some Don. Those of you who don't know, I met Don a long time ago. At first at Ice's house. And then I think
That's
the
right.
first time you heard me sing was on a Monty show, was it?
Yes. Yep. On Monty's.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was on the
Yeah.
masked singer show he had. Who's Name That Voice? Who's That Voice? And from there, I know you mentioned us singing together one day, and then I did it with Stress for one of his like anniversary streams or birthday, I can't remember. And you were like, "We're gonna sing together one day." Like you're like, "It's gonna happen," and sure enough, you made it happen that day.
I had the intention of like I am not leaving this place until I sing with you. Even if I'm a sound like a fool, I don't care.
But you don't. Don, you have a beautiful voice though. So that's
Oh,
the
thank
thing.
you.
And I know you know it and you sing. That's why you sing at the end of every stream and everybody loves it because you put your heart and soul into what you're singing to and people feel that. And if anybody doesn't know, I know some of you in the chat know Don gives the best hugs ever.
You're too kind, too kind. But enough about me because we're here to talk about you. Wait, so really quick, I saw a message, DJ Controversial. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't know, is my mic still distorted? And every week I say this, I need to change my cord, and I never
It's
do.
clearer now. It was for a second. I heard it and then you
Thank you
whatever
so
you did, it
much.
fixed it.
Yeah, I actually had to reset my soundboard. So that was perfect while you were talking. Tantrum, thank you for the 100 uh, bits of aloha. I appreciate that. Um, so there's so many things that I want to kind of touch upon with you because you've been super busy. I see you all over the Twitch street, sis. Like you are everywhere, even the real life
More than
meetups.
expected.
Like so, when you found the community, like so I know you jumped on Twitch, but you and I know Quasi Man Disco was one of the uh people that influenced you to start streaming, but like how did that happen for you? I know you mentioned about your son because you wanted to, as a mama should, right? Taking care, making sure that your son is all G and make sure he's not doing anything that wouldn't be, what's the word I'm looking for, that wouldn't be appropriate to represent you and your
Yeah,
family,
exactly. That wouldn't be
right?
inappropriate. Uh-huh.
Right. And then um thank you, Tantrum and the rest of you. And then, right, you discovered the DJs. Who were the first DJs, maybe the first few of them that you started following? Who
Okay,
you
so
remember?
I
Yeah.
came over to Twitch because of Gene Hove.
Got
So
it.
what happened was I've
Got
known
it.
Gene for years. We used to work together and I knew he was a DJ. When he started streaming DJing on like Instagram and Facebook, I would pop in. But of course my phone
Someone's
wants to
calling
work
you.
right now.
Someone's calling you.
Yeah, I know. I'm like right now, and it's not even important. So, um, look, if my kids are here, the whoever it is can wait. So, um, I followed Gene because what happened was when he started streaming on Facebook, I kept seeing these images and like all these graphics and things going on right in the background. And then it kept getting cut off, and I was like, Gene, what is this? Like, what is going on? And then he's like, click on the link, come to Twitch, Tiff, da 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 da. So eventually I gave in because I was like, I don't want to be on Twitch. Like I barely go on there just to make sure size okay. Like, whatever. But eventually I did it, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then I didn't really want to interact in the chat right away
Right.
because I was kind of intimidated by it. I was like, this is a lot. But then once I finally made my presence known, he's like, oh, what up? This is that and the
Which
other.
which
And then
which
people
didn't
started,
take long.
no, it didn't take long.
It didn't
People
take long.
started greeting me. Like, I think the first person that greeted me was Chrissy Forbes. And she was like super nice because she was one of his mods at the
Yeah.
time. And, other people in the chat were saying, hey. And, I just kind of was like, and I was like, oh, I'm, having a basic conversation with people and, we're vibing out to music. And it was really fun. And they were very friendly. And it kind of just took from there. I started coming in like regularly and I got familiar with just being in his room. And then the whole raid thing happened to like, it might have been Snapback or B saying, I'm not quite sure, but it evolved from there. I became really cool really fast with like Chrissy Forms, of course, Gene, the whole Snapback crew, Icy Ice, and all of them because they would do like offline chats on like Zoom, and I got invited,
Nice.
and it went from there. And then Treasy, who was one of the graphic designers who would stream sometimes too, and Chrissy were cool, and of course the rest of Snapback. So I went and I was like on one of these Zooms. I was like, oh, how funny. And then Treasy and Chrissy started streaming later on. So they would like invite me on their streams because it was just like
Nice.
random chatting, talking, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to be live with you guys. And they're like, yeah, just jump in. I was like, okay, fine, whatever. And so I would pop in and we'd be on there clowning and talking. And then we started doing things like he would do 8-bit trivia and whatnot. And then when
Oh, I
that took
remember
off,
that.
yeah, when that took off with the 8-bit trivia and we were doing it and it really became like competitive for prizes, that's when I met Meta. And I met her through that. Like we were hardcore competing against each other. And she won, and then I won, and then she won. Like it was going back and forth. And then I started following her. And that's how I met Quasi, Tiff Star, and all the people that I'm like super tight with now. And it just kind of grew from there. So the first DJs were all the Snapback DJs. And of course, Ice and, Ice, Remark, Paris Paul, B Stank, Ever Ready, Gene Hove, that whole crew, that was my core at first when I first started hanging out on Twitch. And then it veered over to the other side.
So did you know any of these people in real life prior to
Only
Twitch?
Gene.
Just
Only
Gene.
Gene.
How crazy is that? Yeah, off
It's
of one
mad
person,
crazy.
and then just a connection, right? Right.
Still
To
trips me
from
out to this day.
yeah. I mean, from one friend that you know, and then you make these connections, and then now they become family.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
much so.
So crazy. It's so beautiful.
It
I love
is.
that.
It is. It's
That's
amazing.
the beauty about this community, and I'll keep saying it every time when someone brings it up. That's the
Hmm.
beauty of the community of Twitch, which is very unlikely like all the other ones. I
Right.
can't remember. I'm not sure. So she's on Netflix. Her name's Brene Brown. I'm not sure
Hmm.
if you've seen any of her, but she talks about shame, blame, and guilt. Excellent. She's also on YouTube, which is kind of where she blew up. She did
Okay.
a TED talk. If you type out Brene Brown, I would
Okay.
highly recommend check her out, sis. You're gonna love her. But you know, Brene Brown talks just she talks about a whole bunch of different things. But I remember one of my favorite things that she actually talks about is just not being afraid to just go
Yeah.
out. I mean, yeah, the pandemic happened and all these different things happen, right? You jump online and you see these people because I'm sure, just like you and so many people in this chat room, all says the same thing when you talk about Twitch, and that there's a community there that you're tight
Yeah.
with, right? Because they'll ask questions like, "So, how do you know them?" Like, I know them online. Like we've been friends, for
Exactly.
however, and never met them. Like they just don't understand, right?
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
yeah.
just completely grew from there. I met Philip
Yes.
and
Yes.
other
Yeah.
people. It's crazy how it
Yeah.
happened. Mr. Suge, like
Mr.
all those
Shug.
the
Yeah.
Trek life, they all have become like mad family, like hella cool.
Yeah. And thank you, DJ Rose. Yeah, that's the
And
YouTube. The
Rose,
power of vulnerability. That's Brene Brown.
yes,
Crazy. When you get a chance, watch her. She's amazing. She's amazing. She talks about just living in, just embracing the suck,
Yeah.
right? Because there's
Uh
gonna be
oh.
times. I think, is someone texting you or is something? Yeah, I lost your camera. It's okay, but we can hear you. So
Okay. No, it's I don't know what happened. It was doing some weird stuff. Let's fix that.
yeah, there you are.
Oh, there we
There you
are.
are. There you
Okay.
go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't use this particular camera all the time, which might be
I see.
why.
No, no, no worries. It works, right? It works.
Yeah.
Okay, so you jump on Twitch, right? And then you're making all these different connections. Like, did you think like a year and a half ago, like if someone said to you, in a year and a half ago from now, you're gonna be DJing, you're actually be spinning and playing music for a bunch of people, but then you'll have access and you'll get invited to all these different meetups. You meet like literally the top DJs in the world, and they actually know who you are.
That did not cross my mind. Streaming didn't even cross my mind the first, 6 months that I was on here just as a viewer, right? Because I've been on here, I think about 2 years now, if not a
Yeah,
little longer. Because I know some of my subs have hit like 21 months, like the people that I mod for and
that's
stuff too.
crazy awesome.
But it's it did not cross my mind, not one bit. It was literally like I'm just chilling. It's fun talking to people in the chat, and then like I didn't think I'd get invited. Like, oh, let's Zoom, and on the side while the stream is going on, and we're all talking and drinking and virtually socializing. And I think that probably became a little bit more comfortable for me to do. One, because it was someone in there I knew, and then two, because I was already doing that with my real life people. Like everything was virtual because we couldn't leave the house, right? So I was
Yeah,
already having, virtual happy hours with former coworkers and friends that live out of state and all that. So it was kind of like became a norm,
yeah,
for a little while. Like, I just let me talk to some adults. Like my
yeah,
boys want nothing to do with me. They're playing video games,
yeah,
So like, what am I gonna do? So yeah, pretty much.
yeah. I mean, I so like the very first time we actually physically met, right? We're over at Keepers, or was it at Ice's house? Was it
No, it was
Keepers
at
first?
Keepers. Definitely
Was it
was at
Keepers?
it was definitely
Right.
at Keepers.
I can actually even tell you exactly where you were standing and where we actually met. I
Yep, I
can tell
remember.
you exactly, right by that bar where like they had that stand up bar area, right? It
Hmm.
was and I think it was right before they started to start the show. But yeah, like I got this hugest hug from Diva, and it's as if like I've known you for like forever. Like
Exactly. It was crazy.
so awesome.
It was
I
great.
like, yeah, I like, oh man, this sister's legit right here,
Yeah,
man. This sister's
it was
legit.
great. The energy was great that night
Yeah,
for sure. I
yeah,
was just like, whoa. Yeah, because I didn't tell. Well, Ice knew I was probably coming, but then when I heard you were going to be there, I was like, I'm coming. I'm coming for sure. I'm gonna go.
yeah. One of my very memorable moments of that night, too. I mean, again, meeting so many people for the very first time and just hanging
Yes,
out with all of you, like super dope. And then ended up driving Ice home, and I had no idea where I was going.
exactly. That's the funny part.
Yeah, so good. So how long have you been a teacher?
Professionally,
Yeah,
about 10 years now. But
awesome.
I've been working with children since I was a teenager. So I started working with children when I was 14, the first time I could get a job permit, because I
Mm,
always worked at a summer camp and I started working with the little ones. And then as I got older, I
nice.
worked with the older children. And that it just always was a thing for me. I was always around kids, but I did that every summer. And then after that, I was coaching, and then volunteering at like daycares and schools that I knew like my mom worked at and whatnot. So I was always in a classroom somehow. And then my aunt, my great aunt who also helped raise me, was also a teacher. She was an educator too. So my mom
Nice.
taught preschool and then she was a site supervisor. My
Nice.
aunt taught third and fourth grade. And so I was literally always in some sort of classroom
That's awesome.
my whole life.
That's beautiful. So my wife's a school teacher too as well. She's an educator and she teaches sixth and fifth grade. Uh, but she does gen ed and sped, right? So the
Hmm.
gen like I hate labels, but
Yeah,
according to the Board of Education, it's the regular kids as opposed to the kids that actually need a little bit more help.
yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah.
because I fall in that category. That would be me right here, right?
That'd be a
But
lot of us more than people know. Be honest with
but
you.
but it was interesting because I asked her, I was like, if you had an ideal, grade or age group that you would teach, what grade would it be? And she's like, I actually really enjoy where I am right now. I can't teach high school because they're too much for me. And whoever teaches pre-K and kindergarten, God bless them because they're going to go to heaven first.
And people tell me that all the time. As soon as
Yeah,
they hear I work with the little ones, they're like, God bless you.
seriously, like
And as
seriously.
soon
I
as I
mean,
hear that they're working with older ones, I'm like, no, God bless you. The way my patience is set up and these children think they're grown, I would have lost my job. Because let some child come in my face that's my height and 18 years old or 17, somebody's getting snatched up and it's not
no,
me.
and
So
it's
what
such a,
happened?
and I've said this many times that there's specific lines of work that should get paid like a substantial amount of money, which is why I think the system's very backwards, right? And that group is falls in, and this is the group that I put these specific group of people in, is your first responders and your educators, specifically those that work in the public sector, because you get the majority of the people, right? Not everybody can afford private school, not
Exactly.
everybody. So where
Yep.
does most of the kids go? They go to public school. But
Exactly.
the abuse, right there, I remember there's a picture I saw, an illustration of like a teacher like in the 70s or the 80s, where the student is being talked to and the parents are backing up the teacher. And then there's
Yes.
another illustration, you know what I'm talking about right now, where where the teacher's there and it's the student and the parents kind of just doing one of these to the teacher, right?
Uh-huh.
Things are, it's so different. Yesterday I got a chance to do a sixth grade banquet for an elementary school, and I've been doing this banquet for, I want to say, 10 years now. I love it. Just playing for that specific group of kids. But at the end, as they were shuffling out, and it's a rougher neighborhood, which is even more so why I like to give back. But I remember as they were shuffling out, I heard one of the teachers just giving it to this one girl,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm watching, and I already know she must have did something. So
Mm-hmm.
once they were done, they walked away. She came. She's like, "I'm so sorry." I said, "Don't even apologize. Sometimes that's how you have to talk to them to get your
Yeah.
message across." And she go, and I said, "I'm just curious because that's my nature. What did she say to you?" He goes, "Well, I told her to grab her stuff, and she responded, and she looked at me and she said, 'Shut the fuck up.'"
Oh no, yeah, I would have gone off too. See that right there, that right there. Y'all think y'all grown? No, and see, we were raised a different breed, and it's
No,
that's so
no.
disrespectful. And yeah, unfortunately, that is something that they do have to deal with in the
Look,
in
my
schools.
my days, I would have got slapped right across the
That
face.
part, yeah,
Yeah.
rightfully so.
Yep.
Right, smacked in the mouth.
Yep.
But yeah, it's crazy. But that's why I think that's also why my passion was to work with the little ones at the age I have them now, because I'm trying to teach them not to be
You get to
jerk
help. You get to help
and
groom them,
disrespectful as they
right?
get older.
Yes.
And
Right.
I am very big on, and I tell all my parents this because I know, we have these things nowadays, and early education is way different than it was back in the day, right? Now it's, you don't say the word no, you don't do this, you don't do that. Okay, that's fine. I have my workarounds and I still make it work, but I'm not unrealistic with my parents or anybody that I work with. And I'm like, listen, one thing I'm big on is respect. And I don't care if they're two, three, if they can talk and they can tell me what they want and what they don't want, then they can learn how to respect other people. And then we also, as adults, what people don't realize is we have to respect them. That's something some of us didn't get growing up, right? Because we got talked down to
Yeah.
instead of talked to, which is why there's a lot of misunderstandings and things,
Yes.
that happen as people get older, and resentment that they don't understand where it comes from. And a lot of that comes from things that I studied in child psychology that opened my eyes a lot. But at the same token, in order to get respect and give respect, even with children, it is the same thing. But they also have to understand there's consequences for your actions. You have choices. What you do
Yep.
with those choices, be prepared what happens later.
For
and it
sure.
affects you, other people, all that. I teach all that literally at an early age. And we focus, like people say, oh, I want them to learn how to write their name. No, social emotional skills is number one priority.
Yeah.
But once
Yes.
they can get that, then the rest will fall in line.
Yeah. Absolutely. Totally 100% agree with you. And I've always said this, and I know a lot of people will agree with me, that teachers can make or break a student.
Yeah.
Right, like I can still remember, and I can tell you exactly who my second grade teacher was, because she was the catalyst for for me, because she told me, you know what, Don, you're not stupid. Right, and every grade that when I went up, there was a specific teacher that actually said that to me, like, you're not stupid. Stop saying that. You're not stupid.
Hmm.
You're not stupid. You have a gift. Right, you just got to find it, and we hone it. Right, because you've been placed on this planet to share whatever you need to, like. And so, and then of course you have that percentage, like with any
Hmm.
profession. Right, it's just
Yep.
there just to collect a paycheck. Right,
Exactly.
and they're the ones that will break you. Right,
Yeah.
and you never know, because everyone has a story and you don't know what they're going through. Right, and from bullying to just, well, I mean, now bullying is so different because it's online, it's 24/7, unlike the bullying
That
we
part.
grew up with. Right, bullying when we grew up with was, you only saw them in school, and you're
Yeah.
like, it's the weekend. Yes, I don't get to see this jerk again. But
Exactly.
now bullying is 24/7 because of
Hmm.
the internet and social media and all
Hmm.
these. So, like, how does that, like, how do you deal with that? Like, how does, like, I know some schools, they tell you zero tolerance, but then it still happens and nothing happens to the perpetrator
Hmm.
or what have you. Like,
I
in
mean,
your experience. Yeah,
even
sorry.
even at a young age, there are children who bully, but they don't realize that they're bullying. They're aggressive because they, don't know how to express themselves when it comes to it, and that's kind of how it starts, honestly. It gets nipped in the bud very quickly. As soon as we see patterns or anything like that, if it's an unsafe situation, we definitely make sure we create action plans to try to handle it as best possible. And if it's something that's unmanageable, I mean,
Yeah,
they can't stay. But it
yeah,
just depends on how severe it gets. But luckily at that age, it's pretty easy to nip it in the bud, but it does
yeah,
take work and patience and teamwork with the parents to be able to deal with it and to follow through. Um, and be consistent, because that's what they need for them to understand what's okay and what's not okay. Now, if it gets to a point where something that can't be managed, there's probably something more wrong. And then we
yeah,
need to look at additional support, if they need to be assessed, if there's something else going on in the home, whatever the case may be. And once we do that, it's easier to tackle
yeah.
whatever the issue is, and to kind of go from there.
Yeah, and being the way that society is now, right, with social media, the access to internet, to different private chat rooms and creating fake accounts, and I can see
Hmm.
how it can be very detrimental to a victim who's being bullied,
Yeah.
right? And even to a point where they hit that threshold, to that point where, you know what, I'm not just going to end my life. Let me see how
Um,
many people I can take out to as well.
exactly.
Case in point, right? The Texas shooting,
Yeah.
19 babies and two teachers.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. There is no need for stuff like that. But
Yeah.
how does one, right? Like, I'm interested in, because I saw his pictures and it looks like he's I'm not sure what the correct term is, because I saw a couple pictures of this young man, and then there were two other pictures of him cross dressed as a female,
Hmm.
right? And so the thought for me is like, okay, so what was his upbringing? Like,
Right.
like, who hurt you? I know we joke about
Yeah,
saying that,
where
but
was the disconnect? Something
yeah,
happened.
right. So you're like, man, at what point, like, what happened to this kid to get him
Hmm.
to that point where he's at a point where it's just whatever it is, he's gonna go out, right? He shoots his grandmother and then he goes to the school. Like, so unfortunate,
Yeah.
right?
That's when there's so much hurt that it couldn't be fixed. And unfortunately, that happens when people ignore signs of mental illness and don't catch it at an early age. There's a lot of cultures who don't want to deal with it because of the
Yeah.
stigmas,
Pride,
unfortunately. So they don't
pride.
address it. They
Yeah,
feel like, oh, just a firm hand will do it, or
yeah,
if you over coddle and baby them, maybe that'll help. Like when they don't look at things that are happening, or if they're not talking, what if there's no communication
Yeah.
and you're not talking, finding out what's going on, what's bothering you, things like that. Like, had I not been always in a conversation with my children from the time they were able to talk and go to school, there's no way I would have known that my youngest son was being bullied when he was in middle school. I mean, in elementary school. But he
Yeah.
told me, because I would always ask him, "How was your day? What happened?" Or if something felt off, I'm like, "What's wrong?" Like, I just know. And he would
Yeah.
tell me about what was happening there. And I talked to his teachers, and, we got him, like, it got so bad with him to the point to where it made his stutter worse.
Mm.
And then he had to go to speech therapy after that. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Oh
it,
gosh.
yeah, and it was a lot, it triggered a lot. And a lot of us deal with, trauma and bullying and things like that differently. But, that depends on the individual. Everybody can't handle certain things.
Yeah.
So it that right there definitely feels like somebody missed the mark. And as much as you don't want to point the fingers, unfortunately it starts early.
Yeah.
Somebody missed the mark with that boy, and
Yeah.
that's the bad part. And just on that end, and that's the scary part about a lot of it. That's the scary part about how nowadays people are letting the technology raise their children as opposed to them being involved. And I know a lot of it is people are working and whatnot, but you still have to take precedent as a parent to take the time to get to know your children and get to talk to them and find out what's going on and let them know that you're there and be open, because if you don't, you miss a lot real
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah.
And that's when, and not be afraid of listening to teachers and professionals that are around your child all the time saying, "Hey,
Yeah.
I'm seeing something here you might want to take a look at."
Yeah.
Right? Because I know you said your wife works with special education.
Yeah.
And we have to have those conversations as educators with these parents all the time. And a lot of parents are not receptive to it. But if you approach it the right way, a lot of times they are. And
Yeah.
then of course the earlier you intervene, the better. But it's a hard conversation, but it's something that as parents, even my son, they were worried about him being on the spectrum on top of the speech. So I was like, get assessed. I don't know if I missed anything or not.
Yeah.
Do whatever is necessary, because I want to do whatever I need to do for my child to make
For
sure he's
sure.
going to get whatever he needs to thrive and develop healthy, right? And that's what the thing needs to be. People are so worried about what other people think.
Yeah.
People are so used to ignoring or thinking about using old ways of thinking when it comes to raising children and dealing with them, and not understanding that it's so much more now. You have to think so much broad, because these generations now are not the same as what we had growing. It's not that simple anymore. Not
Yeah.
that simple. So you got to ask all the questions. Like Jay Trey said, who are you friends with? You got to know their parents.
Yep.
They don't do that a lot nowadays. Oh, and
Yep.
I did it with them, and I still do. I need to meet the parents. They need to know who I am. I need phone numbers. I need addresses of where you're going to be. All that, and it's going to continue to happen until they're grown and out and about. And
Yep.
that's just what it is. So all those things are factors, and it's so much. But yes, somebody missed the mark somewhere, unfortunately, and now we are where we are, and not just with this, person, but how Columbine, even the ones who are just killing up their own families. But the
Mm-hmm.
problem that on top of all that, which freaks me out, is one of two things. Like, one, we know how easy it is for a legal adult to get a firearm down
Yep.
south,
Yes.
right? That's a whole nother issue. That is because of these things. Why is that not being addressed and taken care of? Changes need to be made on that drastically. And then the other is, I question this because of schools that I worked at and the schools that I know that are out here. Why was it so easy for him to get in?
Yep.
My school is a literal fortress. And
Mm.
we've still had sometimes where, because we're down the street from a VA building, where they'll
Mm-hmm.
like jump the fence. But as
Yeah.
soon as something happens, when I say doors are locked, like immediately, because we have all these different entryways, it's crazy. But it's literally a fortress. It would be very hard for something like that to happen. And school, like my son's school, if something happens 4 or 5 blocks away or within the vicinity of like a mile or two, they go in lockdown mode if they hear anything
Yeah.
that's even close to being dangerous that
Yeah.
might come that way. They go on, the school goes in lockdown mode.
Yeah.
So you can't even get in or out, and you definitely can't get in without like going through the front desk, and then they let you in, and then there's another door, checking ID and all this other stuff, and then there's school police security. But why was it so easily accessible? Like all these
Yeah.
questions
Yeah.
are raised, and all these, and I'm sure all these parents now be asking all these questions for future children that are at this school or other schools that are out there. Would they need to maybe be rethinking the way certain things are handled, for access out there, But it's really scary. And every time I get a lockdown alert or something on my phone from
It
the
is.
district my boys are in, I'm like every 5 seconds, and that's why they have phones. As soon as they got to middle school, I was like, there's no public phones in these schools anymore. There's no pay
Nope.
phones.
Nope.
They
Yeah.
only have access in like the nurse's office or the office. What if they're stuck somewhere and having to hide, right?
Yeah.
So I need to be able to text you at least, even if you can't talk and you need to sneak and text and let me know, Mom, I'm okay. Or I need to tell you what to do.
So let me ask you this question. This is gonna sound really, really. It might not make sense, but I'm gonna explain it. So in the school that you teach at, on the top of the roof, I'm not sure how your school setting is, but
We're on the rooftop.
you guys are on the rooftop.
Our school is on a rooftop.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Okay. Well, that makes sense where how you can get just kind of just shut and lock everything down quickly, right? Where I suppose with this probably like a school like this, I didn't see the stuff on the news yet. Where right, like a lot of the Hawaii schools, of course, they're buildings and they're portables, and
Hmm.
so in our police training. One of the things that we suggest, because I used to be part of it was called a community policing team, where we would go out and address some of the issues and concerns in the community, and part of that was the schools that we had jurisdiction over, and so we would go and do like safety presentations, and then the schools would do like their training, their lockdown, um what is it,
The
drills,
procedures.
the
Yeah,
lockdown
we do
drills, right?
drills.
You do the drills,
Hmm.
and then our job was to get in. We wanted to
Yeah.
see how we could get in, right?
Mm.
I can tell you this, almost every school I did, I got in at least once.
Hmm.
That's how naughty I was as a kid, because I knew all the tricks, right? But
Yeah.
I was able to get in the classrooms because the teachers, right? And I would like I could stop. You cannot let anybody. I don't care who it is. You don't let anybody in at all unless you get the clear and safe signal from your principal
Exactly.
or whoever is giving you the signal. And most of
Yep.
the time, it's a code word. So
Yeah,
don't
it's a
open
code.
this
Yeah, code
door.
words.
Like, don't
Yeah.
open this door, right? And so, but on top of these buildings, they would have the building numbers or the letters,
Hmm.
so that
Hmm.
when our helicopter would come over, they can tell you exactly for us where the incidents are, right? And
Right.
so, like for training for us, if so, like I was just thinking about what happened where this poor teacher had to have all these kids together, and somehow this guy got in, and right. But in our training, the things that we teach our recruits when I was a trainer at the academy is when you go into, we call it an active shooter scenario, and
Yep.
anytime you go there, your main objective is to stop the threat.
Hmm.
So, which means people are you're going to be passing are going to be screaming at you for help. They're going to be bleeding. They're going to be dying, and you
Hmm.
cannot focus on that until you stop the threat. Because if you
Hmm.
stop and you take care of them, that person is going to go out and start killing more
And
people.
get more. Hmm.
So you gotta like bypass all of that and just be laser focused and find this clown, and then
Hmm.
take him out, right, in whatever way possible, means necessary, and then from that, then you turn into rescue in terms of, okay, let's provide care and first aid for
Right.
everybody else. You got
Right.
to make the scene safe first. That is
Hmm.
the number one. Um, it's the number one thing that we do as policemen whenever we show up at a scene
Hmm.
is the scene safe. Once you deem
Hmm.
your world is safe, then you can actually do the rest of your job.
Yeah.
So in an event like that, like we'll do practice scenarios, and you would see some of these recruits. You can tell like they've never gone through those type of life experiences, because like many of them would actually just stop and freeze.
Hmm.
And then like I would have to look at them and sometimes kind of like smack them on the side of the head, like focus. You have a job to do. They're relying
Right.
on us that we all go home together. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like they're like, oh, okay, but I could only imagine just the trauma that I feel even more sorry for the kids that actually witnessed it and
On
saw what
on
happened.
top of it all, exactly.
How crazy is that? Like,
It's all crazy. But the
yeah,
questions that lead to why that was even allowed to happen are the questions that need to be answered and addressed
right,
immediately. It's been happening too much.
yeah, right. And so, what is the solution? Is it more stricter gun laws? Is it more right screening in terms of making sure the mental illness? There's always a top. It's always a toss up because
There's
depends.
always a toss up. I think it's a combination of both,
I think so too. I think
honestly.
so too. Yeah.
I think it's a
Um,
combination of both. Definitely stricter gun laws. And they definitely should have a heavier screening
yeah.
because, that plays a factor in how someone is
Yeah.
going to handle something of that, the like just anybody that's of legal age and just has a clear background, just get a gun. Like,
Yeah.
really? Come on.
Crazy.
You
But
don't know what their intentions are, what they're going about, what mental state they're in at the time. And, that, yeah, no,
well, and that's
that
for
never sat right with me.
but and then that's for those that actually go through the process because now you can just order
Right.
like you can order parts that has no serial numbers, put it together, and it's called a ghost gun.
Mm,
You can do
mm-hmm,
that now, right?
mm.
It's not like before you got to go find someone on the street, right? Like, hey man,
Right, right.
you know, right?
Yeah,
Nowadays with the internet, like, right, people will do whatever for money. Hey,
that's
can you
true.
make this? Can you make this slide lock? Can you make this? Can you make this trigger? I need to be really,
Right,
really light. Like you can do all kinds of stuff and not get tracked on it. You cannot even track
right,
that.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's a scary
Very
thought.
scary. Very scary. Very scary. But right, as good contributing members of society, our job is to be resilient and show the next and the future generation, like, hey, look, shit will happen. Our job is to get through that, work through it, and know that hey, there is a tomorrow. Whether you're going to be there or not, there will be a tomorrow. And our job is
And
how
for
do
us
we
to do
make
our part to
tomorrow
make
better?
sure we're keeping them safe as possible. And if
Yes.
that
Yep.
means that things have to change and we have to be active and speak out and vote and, make our voices heard and do what's necessary to keep it safe for them and future generations, we have to show them that that's how it gets done as well and not just letting it fly by and forgetting about it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So props to all the educators out there. You're an educator. The wife's an educator. Heidi Ice is an educator. Like so
Heidi,
many
yeah.
people out there. Is Ice here? I think I just saw him. I think I just highlighted his stuff.
Oh, I'm not even looking at the chat,
Yeah,
but I
I know.
mean, shout out to you guys too, because you guys put your lives on the line for us
Oh, yeah.
to protect us as well too, and especially the good ones like you, who are doing it for the right reason and doing it the
Yeah.
right way. So you know, otherwise he wouldn't have been able to be taken out, or we would know about these things that we need to look out for, and and unfortunately having to have these active shooter trainings that we have to have because we've had to have them as
Yes.
well. When
Yeah.
we had one for the first time a few years ago, everybody was just like, whoa, like reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Even
you
even
never
in places like ours,
yeah, you never think about it until it
you
actually
never think
happens.
about it until you
Right.
see it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, blessings to those people out in Texas, out in Buffalo, and wherever
Yes,
where, you know, things like that happen. It's so sad
it
that we have
is.
to do with things like that. But, again, this is where we teach resiliency. This is where we teach that we don't give up, right?
That's
And
right.
because the moment we do, that's when we lose.
Right. And the
Right.
moment people become complacent with what is
Yes.
instead of trying to fix it for what it needs to be, that's
Yeah.
that's a problem. And that's the reason why this is still happening,
This still
right?
happens.
Because people are too afraid to make the changes that need to happen
Yeah.
because they're too comfortable. But then when this happened, it shakes everything up for a
Yeah.
little while. But then if nobody's going out there to do anything to make a
Yeah.
change,
Yeah.
what are
Because
we doing to
they
protect
don't
our
want to hurt
future?
anyone's feelings.
Right, right. Like,
But,
come
but
on.
yeah, you know what? Say that to the 19 kids to their
That
parents.
to their parents, right,
Yeah.
and the family members,
Yeah. Say that to
and
the family
the
members.
staff and everybody that had to deal with that and go through that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's not, yeah, that's not how things change. That's not how things are gonna,
Not
you
at all.
know, grow. We have to, you gotta shake it up. You gotta get out there. You gotta speak out. People gotta stop sitting around talking about my vote don't count,
Yeah.
or not want to sign a petition for this, that, and the third, or create one if necessary because something's going on in your area and needs to change. You
Yeah.
have to use your voice. You have
Yes.
to use your vote. You have to do what's necessary.
Yeah. Yeah. Quasi. The people who can make the changes are too worried about keeping power to make the changes. Amen,
That
bro.
part, Quasi.
Amen, bro. Right there. Amen.
And
Yeah.
it takes the rest of us to push those people to understand.
That's right. That's right. It's an unfortunate truth right there.
It
So
is.
sad. So sad. Heidi's in the chat room. Heidi
Hi,
Ice.
Heidi.
How are you, Heidi? What's up,
Hey,
Ice? What's up,
sis.
360? This is the DJ 360 is
60,
here
my
too.
sis. Hi, Ice. My
Dang. Everybody's
bro.
kind of just snuck in. Marge, is that Marge? Margellis is here.
Oh, my
Hey,
partner.
snuck in right there. Michael Motion is here. He's coming to Hawaii too as well. Big
Yeah, I
shout
heard
to
Michael Motion's
Michael
coming.
Motion.
And
Yep.
then you saw my
Model for the
sis J
resub.
Trey's in the chat
Big
too.
Trey.
Of course,
What?
Quasi. Thank you guys for being here.
Nice. So, um, favorite quote, any words of wisdom you want to kind of, I know we kind of went heavy, right, with this, the whole massive
We
shooting and all
did.
this
I'm
stuff,
kind of like,
but I think
I feel
it's,
like I need a shot. I'm like, can I? Because it takes
look,
everything
take
within
the
me when
shot.
I get frustrated to not
No,
like,
I get you, sis.
I'm like
Right.
holding back because I'm just,
No, I
it's
got
so
you.
frustrating hearing about that
I
kind
got
of stuff.
some
I'm
gourmet
just
root
like,
beer. It's like gourmet root beer
well,
right
you
here.
got your root beer. I got my kombucha.
Oh, there you go. Well, cheers to you and to the rest of the
Here's
chat.
to you in the chat.
So, favorite quote, any words to live by? What would it be for you, sister?
Uh, there's so many, but um, it will probably be the one that rolls around in my chat all the time. Um, it is that change is inevitable, but progress is optional.
Optional. Optional. Always. Yeah.
So I that quote has stuck out to me for decades. And it just, at the end of the day, I'm always about one. Everybody who knows me knows I'm a firm believer in like karma. What goes around comes around, and what you put out is what you give back. That's a big thing about me. But that, you know, change is going to happen no matter what, right?
Yeah.
But what are you going to do with that change? Are you going to stay stagnant, or are you going to progress? Or, and if you're comfortable where you are, then be comfortable where you are and live in it, and be happy with it, but don't complain about it.
Hmm.
But if you would like to progress and you want more, that progress is optional for you.
Well, the saying
What are you
is
going to
you.
do?
Well, and at the same time, the saying is you're either growing or you're decaying,
Yeah,
right? Because the moment you stop, that's when you stop growing, right?
pretty
Because we're always
much.
moving. We're always moving forward, and like you say, it's
Always.
a choice, though,
It
right?
is a choice. You have to want to move forward. You have to want to grow, learn. I'm a lifelong learner. I always will be. I feel like until I can stop moving and stop thinking, I'm always going to be into something. And if it makes me happy, I'm rolling with it.
Yeah.
And that's what I want my kids to do. Same thing. So, it progress is optional. Make a choice to progress or
Yes.
not,
Yeah.
or be stuck.
And that's a choice.
That is a choice.
That's a choice. Yeah, that's a choice, right? And with every choice, there's a consequence and there's some benefits. So you decide and see what works for you. Yeah,
Exactly.
right. So I appreciate you so much. I cannot wait to
And
see you in a
I
couple
know,
months.
me
Give you the
too.
hugest hugs. Bring your laptop.
All right, all right, all right. I
Bring
will. I
bring your
will.
laptop. Okay, bring
I
your
will bring
laptop.
my laptop. I appreciate you guys so much. I appreciate you, Don. Thank you.
Thank you. Love you. And as always, with anything, there's anything I can do to help support you in whatever way, shape, or form, I'm a phone call away. So I love you so much.
Thank
If you
you.
want
You
to, if you
too.
want to address the chat really quick before you log off,
Um,
I'm
I
open up.
think we pretty much saw everybody that I said hi to earlier. Shout out to my sis 360. Hey boo. And of course my brother DJ Icy Ice, my sis Heidi Ice, my sis J Trey 707, my brother Quasi Man Disco, my partner Margulis, my cousin Philip and Guido, Chuck, good to see you. Everybody who's here, Big Rob, Nancy, and Rick, of course, love you guys dearly. Shout out to Princess too for, she pulled my coattail for this. My sis Kim
Thank
Ben, I
you.
see in the building. Elusive, Soundman Sound Factory, everybody who's here. Just thank you guys so much for your time and being here. And I appreciate all of you guys. Much love.
We'll see you in the chat room. Thank you so much, but I'll definitely see you in a couple months.
Yes, definitely will.
And
Thank
we're gonna
you.
and we're gonna sing too, so don't
I
forget.
got you.
Okay.
I
Thank
won't wear
you.
my voice out.
Thank you. Have a good one. Take
All
care.
righty, you too.
Okay.
Good
Okay.
night.
Good night. Once again, Chad Ohana. Shout out to the one and only my sister, my singing partner, DIVA929. If you have her emotes, drop your DIVA929 emotes for me, please. Thank you so much. Um, Tony Seven Face is. Wait, let me see this, man. Let's talk about this. Yeah, you know what, Tony? Again, I think it also comes down to right. Mental illness is real. I'm not saying it's an excuse, but how do we fix this issue? Yeah, it just seems like we're always trying to fix something and be instead of being proactive, we're always reactive. And I think our job as citizens is to bring up issues such as these to make sure that certain things are being passed. I get it. Without I understand the political game. I totally understand what that looks like. But I think we just got to do our part too as well, and be resilient, as well as being very firm in our stance in whatever side of fence that you sit on. I love having a healthy, meaningful discussion, being very respectful, but I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean the Second Amendment allows, right, is the right to bear arms, but at the same time, I think when it was written back then, times were different, right? I know there were things that were updated in terms of the Bill of Rights, but at the same time, I think it's our lawmakers and who we put into office are the ones that we need to check and make sure that they do what we ask them to do because we vote them in. Right. So again, shout out to my sister Diva929. Thank you so much. But let me bring in this brother right here and get him in, and get our brother started. So um Chat Ohana, please help me welcome the one and only Sandman Sound Factory. Yo, what an
Check one, check
introduction.
two.
What an introduction, man. No one's done that before. What?
Aloha, Chad Ohana.
What up, man? How are you, brother?
You know I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me on
I
here.
know you're good,
I
man.
want to give a big shout out to Diva929. She touched on points that are relevant today, that were relevant 100 years ago, and we're still doing it today, guys. So, you know, thank you so much, Diva, for all you do.
Bro, chat's going crazy, man.
Yes,
Say
it
what's
is.
up to them, man. I'm gonna step
Yeah,
back. You
my
do you.
chat is
You do
going.
what you
You know
do,
how I
man.
do it,
You do what
guys.
you do,
That's
man.
your Mike, my Maui brother, DBB, my brother Ali, all the way out there in New Zealand. Stressy, fam, Diva, thank you so much. Nick Ski, Elusive, my family right there. Nancy Nakamura, thank you so much. Icy, thank you so much. G Rich, that is my boomerang brother, day one. Controversial, family, pushing for partner. Yes, sir. Jane Blue, my mod king. Kathy A, my mod queen, and my one and only, yes, please. I love you so much, honey. Thank you so much for having me, you guys. Caro Patito, big aloha. Michael Motion, big aloha, my brother. Man, you already know. Thank you, guys. Let's get this interview going.
Yeah, yeah. How you been, brother? It's been a
Very
minute
good, man.
since we chatted, bro. It's been
Yes.
a hot minute, man.
Yes. We have been kind of, we started out with our 808 ties and have been kind of spreading the aloha all the way as far and wide as we can. And it has now come full circle, man. It's now come
Yeah,
full
yes,
circle.
sir. Well, what's the name of your cat, man? I can see him.
We got the Sandman squad in the building. God, I butchered my own name. Sandman squad in the building, you guys. You already know, man. Thank you all so much for everything you guys do. We've been spreading the aloha so far. Disco B, that's my brother right there. Ben, thank you so much for being here. Again, you guys have witnessed not only with Dawn, but everybody on the Twitch streets have slowly, but surely bridged the gaps. And we are now one big Ohana. I have Ahatagni in here, all the way from New Delhi, India.
Yep.
It is, what time is it out here? It's got to be, Thursday evening out there. And he is, he's the man. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. My 69 squad, thank you guys so much for being here, guys. Love you.
So, bro, let's start kind of at the beginning for maybe a few of these people that maybe don't know who Sandman Sound Factory is. So, if you could kind of give us a brief overview, like where you from, where you grew up, how did you get to this point?
Absolutely. My dogs are barking in the background.
All good, bro.
Don't
all
know.
Good.
My cats and dogs run the show. My name is the Sandman Sound Factory, aka Mark Anthony Alcala. In case you guys don't know, Filipino Chinese Hapa, born in the Bay Area, California. I was raised in Maui, Hawaii. Lived out there for 20 years ever since I got out of school. Came back to California, got with my wife, yes please, and now we are in Portland, Oregon, the PDX. It is a cool 60 degrees out here.
It's 63 out there. It's 81 here for us, man.
Yeah, I know. It's warm all over, man. Summer is coming. I have been DJing since 1985. I was not even old enough to get in the clubs, and they allowed me to go in, bring in all my records, all my crates of records, drag them in, do my set. I was not allowed to go on the dance floor because I wasn't old enough to partake. As soon as my set was over, I had to scoot out the back door.
You're like, hey man, great job. You got to get out now. You got to get out.
I know more wristband, bro.
No more wristband.
But yeah, that's the DJ background. I mean, we have some heavy hitters in here, not only in the Twitch game, in the DJ game, in the entertainment business. Philip and Guido, my brother, thank you so much for being here, fam. And it's all come together because of this little app that we got right here on our phones, and we have to give respect where respect is due. This started out as a gaming platform, and we have morphed it. I don't know what the Twitch numbers are these days, but the DJs are slowly gaining ground on the Twitch streets and are making big noise. When I started off, we were all started off at Facebook. I don't know if everybody did, but a good part of us. And slowly they started cutting us off. You stream for 11 minutes and get booted out of there.
Oh, you got lucky, 11 minutes.
Yeah, man, really.
You got lucky.
And I got to give a shout out. I don't even know if he's in the chat, but his name is DJ On Q. He's one of my 707 original family members. I saw him on Facebook streaming, and I was like, wow, there's my man, and he's playing the stuff that I would play. And I messaged him and was like, hey, bro, I like what you do. How do I do it? And so, went and hooked up my phone and selfie camera and yada, yada, yada. And started streaming on Facebook, like a lot of us. And I was very reluctant to do the Twitch thing in the beginning, like a lot of us, because it was new. It was something that, we weren't too sure what to do. And I think I had 2 followers, 3 followers. Sonia Joy Lawson is one of my first followers. Bamboo is one of my first followers. I've known those folks for 20, 30 years, but it was very difficult to get people from the Facebook platform over to the Twitch platform. And it's still difficult. We have to pave our own way. But I have to definitely give props to everybody on Twitch that didn't give up. and is still grinding today, because we know it's not easy. It's not easy for streamers. It's not easy for moderators, and the listeners, they are so supportive for whatever we do. I mean, you
Yeah,
could
they
see
are.
this chat; it's going crazy. These people, they are everywhere. We go into Tonga Kids channel, and I see Ali. I go into Shaolim's channel, I see Icy Ice. I go into Zali's channel, I see Jay and Blue. So we're supporting each other. It's
Yeah.
one big family.
So how long have you been on Twitch, Mark?
Um, what are we? Almost 2 years. 2 years in September, I believe, or October.
Nice.
So the first 6 months were very slow. I mean, and because the good thing was, because I had Hawaii connections, I made a lot of those are my initial connections. LX, Joe Cortez. I know Jam and Jay was on here
Yeah.
before. And I knew those guys from before, from my DJ days out in Maui.
Yeah.
And, then we would see you on there, and you were just gangbusters.
Well, I came in late to the game.
And you hit the ground running, and we kind of, and I'm sure we all do this. We go in other people's channels and we see what they're doing. We say, oh, wow, that guy, he's got it going on. That girl, she's got it going on, and you take little tidbits from each of them, and you kind of turn it into your own show. Like my show, for example, I got my little kitty right here. And I've got a scratch redemption that I do a kitty cat. She climbs up on me, and there it is. Her name is Sachi. And yes,
Sachi,
yeah,
yeah.
Sachi. She's one of many. But yes, so again, I can't thank the Twitch community enough for everything they do. And, without them, we're just bedroom DJs. We're playing in our bedroom for two people, you and your wife. And, that's pretty much it. So, thank you guys that are killing this chat. Lockdown, Ski, are you fucking Disco B? There it is.
So,
D1 Drew.
So aside from the potential of just being a bedroom DJ, like in terms of your DJ career, was it club? Was it mobile for you? Was it radio? What was it for you, bro? Or a little bit of everything?
I so everybody that knows that have ever came to my stream or even seen my messages, even on Facebook, it's my quotes are sounds for the soul, music for your mind.
Music for your mind.
There it is. Not a long time, but always a good time.
Here for a good time.
There it is. And we've been living that mantra ever since. So yes, I did a lot of clubs in California when I was in high school, then got into college, do a lot of the college dances. Sonoma State was my college. So I did a lot of the frat parties and that kind of stuff. And then once I got out of college, I moved to Maui, and it was a whole nother vibe.
Yeah.
You playing reggae and country
yeah, it is.
and, karaoke night. So, you got to broaden your library and your mental, be open-minded about it, basically. And over the years, it really took off. I lived in Maui, and by the end of my 17-year stint out there, I was DJing in Honolulu, I was DJing in Maui, and I was DJing in Kauai. I did a spot called Rob's Good Times Grill. Shout out to Rob and the family out there. I did Maui. I did Hapas, Tsunamis, Bada Bing. The list goes on. And I actually just figured out, not even a few weeks ago, that Nick Styles, I know everybody knows Nick Styles. If you don't know him, follow that guy right there. He was actually Nasty Nick from Maui. I DJ'd with him for like 2 years straight. And I didn't even know it was him, back in the 90s. And I hear his voice, I would rate him all the time, and I'd see him, and he was, he is, talk about energy. He is Mr. Energy.
That's hilarious. Because I never knew him as Nasty Nick.
Yes,
Like
his name was Nasty
I've
Nick.
actually heard that
So
name float around all
yes,
these years.
so
I
drop
didn't
it on him
realize.
next
I didn't
time you
make the
see him, and he'll
connection,
know exactly
bro.
what you're talking
Next time
about.
next time he's streaming, I'm gonna jump in and highlight like, "What up,
Yes.
Nasty Nick?"
Yes, he will. He'll turn red and get embarrassed. But yeah. So it's just those types of examples that you see. Jam and Jay, another guy, I DJ with him for 4 or 5 years straight, out in the club scene, and now we're all here on Twitch, and we all get to have some freedom and have some fun and build a community. And I don't think there's really any downside to what we do. Other than we get sore feet and sore back after we're done streaming.
True, so true. So your experience on Twitch, as opposed to doing like, now that a lot of real life events are opening up, I'm seeing DJs kind of that used to be on Twitch a lot, kind of just taper off, and you see them less and less because all the real life events are happening. Um,
Correct.
for
Correct.
you, where do you stand in terms of that?
I've been up here in Portland for less than a year.
You just moved there.
I just moved here
Portland.
less than a year ago. I made the move. I was out in the Bay Area, and the Bay Area, for all my Bay Area folks, Jeff B, it's just so expensive.
Yeah.
It's Hawaii prices, and so
I
definitely don't have enough money to live out in Hawaii.
It's Hawaii prices with more space.
Yes, and more traffic.
And a lot more traffic. Yeah.
Yes. So I've been going back and forth with it for years. My stepdad lives out here in Eugene, and so I finally decided, let's go out here and do it. Luckily I have a very, very supportive wife who backs me on everything I do. And she was like, do it. And not only was she do it, but she said, stream. So I'm sitting in my living room right now. This is my lanai. And she said, do it. You do your stream, you do you. And, we'll make it work. And, it's been working. We all know kind of balancing streaming and real life, whether it's a job, whether it's, trying to make ends meet, it's not easy. And like you were asking about, the club scene, I haven't really dabbled out here yet. I've got a couple guys who have kind of said, hey, why don't you do this? Hey, why don't you do this? But again, and I know that that's a young man's game. Let me just put it that way.
Oh, big time, bro. Big time, man. Big time.
I'm not even going to say my age, but yeah, you're younger than me, Don. So.
Yeah, I know. I know that. So here, Shaolim kind of jumped the gun before me, so I'm glad he brought it up. How did you get your name, man?
Yes. So it's a SandmanSoundFactory. So when I was growing up, my father actually invented this technique. He pioneered it. It was called sand tapestry. It's with sand. So he actually started with the Hopi Indian and the Tibetan mandalas, making sand art, and he was the Sandman. I'm Sandman Junior. If you really want to ask about it,
you're like the sand boy.
So he started this technique, and I grew up, father of a hippie, or a son of a hippie, doing this art or watching it. And here you go. Here's a picture right here. All sand.
Is that a rainbow? I see a rainbow in the valley.
It's a rainbow. This is actually Seven Sacred Pools. One of my rendition. Rendition. So I would make the sand pictures, and my dad lived out in Maui, so I knew as soon as I got out of school, I wanted to go out there, and I helped him start the business. We had a shop at the Cannery Mall. We had a shop at the wharf. We do the shows at the Banyan Tree. My dad, we stayed out there for about 4 or 5 years. And then my dad decided, because he is a hippie at heart, he wanted to go back to California. So he actually opened up a shop in Monterey, California. Same kind of vibe. He loves the ocean, had to be there. But I stayed in Maui. And so I would do these craft shows, these art shows, no DJing involved, none of that stuff. And they would have the hula halal there. It was Peter D'Aquino. He was a little kid back then, and he would say, oh, go check out the Sandman doing his sand pictures. Check out the Sandman. Check out the Sandman. So when I would go to the club, they would say, hey, there's the Sandman.
Nice.
And yes, so there you go, Shao.
There
That
you
is
go,
that is the
man.
birth of that. Yeah, I got an IG site that has, you know, a lot of my father's pieces, a lot of my pieces. It's Art Sand Glass. Yes, please, we'll put it in the chat for you guys. But yeah, so that kind of took off in Hawaii. And when I
That's
started
dope.
doing Twitch, I was thinking, should I keep the same name? You know, should I be DJ this, that, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, Yes Please said, no, you just keep it. That's your deal. So run with it.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure so many people, you know, a whole bunch of people were like, so what's in the name? Like, how did that happen, and how did that came to be? Right? It's always once you find the story, because everyone has a story, and once you hear the story, it just makes so much sense.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. And sometimes you don't get your name. Your name gets
Sometimes it's just
appointed to
given.
you. You
Yeah,
know, here's
it's just
another
given
picture of
to you.
a whale breaching. That's my West Maui Lahaina picture right there. Made that back in 1994. It says right there. Oh, 96. So yeah, it's been a while.
So how long does it take for you to put like a sand art together?
I can make a
Right.
picture now in about an hour.
So
My
like, how do you
dad,
do the colors and stuff? Is it just like
we
different?
start from scratch because my dad pioneered this. We dye our own
Oh,
sand, we cut our own glass, we make our own frames. He could do a picture, or he could have done a picture. My dad passed away in 2014.
mm,
Um, but he can make a picture in like 12 minutes and
that's
talk and
crazy.
do, you know, I guess I kind of learned my smack talking from him, because
Yeah,
he would sit there all day long and talk story with people, and the next thing you know, they're walking away with 4 sand pictures,
that's
you know.
crazy.
Yes,
That's
yes,
so your dad was like the sand art of what's that dude's name with the afro, the one that does all the paintings?
yes,
Like
yes,
your dad
yes.
was him. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
Bob
the
Bob
Bob
something.
Ross. Yes, he's
Bob
the Bob
Ross.
Ross of
Your
sand. And
your
you know
dad was
what?
the Bob Ross
And
man.
so he actually graduated from sand to doing glass sculptures. So when he passed away in 2014, he was actually giving a glass seminar out in Little Rock, Arkansas,
You're
and
kidding me.
had a heart attack out there. He was
No
doing what he
way.
loves what he
Hey,
does.
there you go, man.
You know what I mean? How else can you go? I mean, he didn't have to sit in a hospital bed, you know, and be sick, and we didn't have to go through all that. But at the same time, we were robbed of his talents, you know, very, very early. But it's up to us to kind of keep it going. I have a brother of mine who is in the Bay Area right now and killing it in the glass market. It's Alcala
Nice.
Designs. Alcala Designs. He's killing it in the
Nice.
glass market. You know, I'm just a little I'm not a bedroom DJ anymore. I'm a living room DJ. I graduated.
You kill it, bro. You kill it, man.
Yeah, good fun.
Um,
Good fun though.
so for those of you, if you've never been on Sandman Sound Factory's channel before, he has a unique talent of calling out lurkers. But here's the amazing thing about what this guy
Thank you, dude.
or what Mark does is, like, not only he'll call you out, like he'll shout you out, he'll remember. You know, you jump in his channel several times, and if he asks you enough, he has a gift of remembering certain things. Like he'll remember like where you're from, which is what this. So no joke, man. Straight up, full disclosure. That's actually where I got it from. I got it from you. Like it made so much sense that you shout somebody out and then you shout out where they're from. And then there's a little known like fun fact or something you talk to them about, like like you say someone's name, like Styles Critter Puerto Vida, how are you? Like, hey, how so and
Yes.
so? Hey, how was that job?
Yes.
How did that come
Yes.
along? Like,
Exactly.
that's how you do it, though. Like that's how you do it. So
And
like where did you learn that from? Like how, like was it like a former job? Were you doing something prior to that?
here we go with that, because everybody knows, and they'll all say that, man, how do you remember that stuff? You DJ Flash, he would used to come in my stream when I first started, and he would be, you know, I'd be streaming at midnight, and he would be the only one to come in here like, bro, you're like an elephant, you never forget anything, bro, you're
Wait,
crazy.
he called you fat? F Flash, man. Flash.
Hold
He
up, let me say,
sucks. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
give
just kidding.
a
Flash my
shout
boy,
out
man.
to
Flash my
let me
boy. I love Flash,
no, he
man.
calls me uncle, and I call him nephew.
Yeah, well, you are older than most of these people in the chat room,
Yes,
so
yeah, and I
you
have
should
to
be called
accept that,
grandpa.
right?
You should be called
I have to
grandpa.
accept that.
Yeah.
So every time I go in his chat, yeah, uncle, how you been, man? let me give a quick shout out to Jenny Leilani, because
Yeah.
she is one of my Maui sisters out there. And again, this is the magic of Twitch. I was twitching and she was on the stream, and we start, talking about this, that, and the other. And she goes, I remember you at Hoppa's 25 years ago. And I'm like, oh, wow. She goes, I was the girl, because when we walked into the club, you automatically, with your admission, you got a free beer. So she was the girl at the beer stand passing out the beers. And I'm like, oh, wow. And the next thing you know, we are linked up, and she's got a sword in my channel, and me and her have been rocking ever since. Jenny, I told him I'd tell you a story. I had to give it to you, girl.
Nice. Shout out to Jenny Leilani out in Vegas. But shout out to the one and only, your new name, Sandpap.
Carol Patito, Bay Area, Juice on the Loose, New Zealand, Garoish, Ottawa, Canada. Come on now. I can go all the way downstairs. Jam Blue, Toronto, Canada. And I'll tell you where it came from. And I was talking to Don offline, about this. When I was in Maui, my day job was I worked at the Ritz-Carlton, Kapalua. And I was the doorman. So my job was to greet everyone, say aloha, welcome to the Ritz-Carlton Kapalua, number 4 hotel in the world. Hope you guys had a wonderful, wonderful trip here. Welcome. And then I greet them. I unload their car. I immediately look at their luggage tag and find out who they are and where they're from.
Nice.
And there you go. You off and running. Oh, you from Tucson, Arizona. Man, how's the golf out there?
Where you from? Arizona? I know where Arizona is.
You know what I mean?
I know where Tucson is. I know where Tucson is, man. I used to go to Tucson all the time. Tucson and I, we boys.
So here's the funny thing is, I only had about 30 seconds because I had to pick their luggage up, walk them to the front desk. I only had about 30 seconds to get a tip. So I had to cram all my information, my whole spiel, in like 30 seconds. And nice. The better you get, the more you remember, the bigger your pocket gets. I wasn't a valet who had to get cars. They get money for that. If you're a bellman, you get to bring some luggage and you get money for that. But if you're the doorman, all you're doing is open doors. So yes, that was my grind for about 7 years, and taught me everything I need to know for the Twitch streets.
Which has opened a lot more doors.
Yeah, absolutely. There you go. Tucson lockdown.
Lockdown. Tucson represent lockdown.
The hotel game is real. The hotel struggle is real. Anybody who lives in Hawaii knows about the hotel struggle.
Oh, no kidding, man. No kidding.
Shaolim says the drip and the drop. Don't even start with the drip and the drop, bro.
Well, too late since you brought it up. Share with us the drip and the drop, player.
So this started back when I used to stream at midnight. I'd start my stream at midnight, and these guys would be bonkers because 9 times out of 10, they're already 3 sheets to the wind. So I had my bed right next to
Wait. 3 sheets to the wind.
Oh,
please elaborate.
Doesn't even know that phrase.
I don't, because it's not a Hawaii thing.
Exactly. That's where you have to have worldwide vibes, bro. Worldwide vibes.
I'm not as well versed as you because I don't have the life experience because you're older than me. But that's besides the point.
Even Kim Vins, everybody's like, what kind of phrase is that? Oh man, there you go. DIVA929 knows what time it is. See, that means you're hammer jag in Hawaii.
Yeah, because I thought you said 3 shits to the wind. That's why I was like, stop.
You said it's a West Coast thing. I think it's a Midwest thing, actually. I don't know.
I'm so sorry.
This has turned into a funny interview. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Sorry.
So yeah, so I'm streaming at nighttime, and my bed is right next to my turntables. And so what I would do is I'd get up, and I had a little redemption. It'd say drop it, and in the beginning I would just drop it low, whatever, Don is the king of the dance. I don't even, ever since you got this Wisdom Wednesdays now, you kind of toned it down, bro. I think we're going to have to see you doing the WAP some more, man, but yeah, so I would actually physically drop to the bed. Greg Rich knows, he's in here. I think I did 25 drops in one stream. These guys, it was like a 5,000 point redemption or whatever it was. And then I kind of, do my little dance thing. And then somebody said, well, give them the drip. And so growing up, of course, I'm in the 80s, 85, 86. In the DJ game, it was all about the electro. It was all about breaking. It was all about popping. It was all about strutting and boogalooing and all that stuff. Philip Embudo knows what time it is. Icy Ice knows what time it is. He's B-boy Icy Ice. And so I would do my little thing. They called it the drip. Let me give you a little drip.
Oh yeah. Oh what? What? I didn't know you had that skill. Look at Sandpap take it. Look at Sandpap go off, man. What?
That was just a little drip.
Eh.
Yes. So anyways, yeah, just whatever we can do to make it fun. And now I think we got a dance challenge where I got to do this hand jive and I got to do the sprinkler and all kinds of cat challenges. These
Stress
guys go
TV.
in.
Look. I highlighted this for you, man. Stress, dripping like sand.
There you go, Stress. That's just how it goes.
Hey.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, man. So, you can see just by the interaction of this fun little chat here. We got almost 100 people in here, and you have created this free environment. Once a week, everybody just kind of gets together and just, in Hawaii, they say talk story.
Yes, we talk story.
That's
basically all it is. Yeah.
Wiggle that mic cord.
Oh, yeah, that wasn't right, and it's right in front of my mouth.
There you go. There you go, Kim Vin. Karen Midori, thank you so much for being here. DIVA929, we're having too much fun. Again, there's my sis Cal Penna. Before I even go anywhere, Cal Penna, that's my day one right there. That is my Maui sis. Kihei in the building, South Maui. Thank you so much for being here, Cal Penna. This is one of the reasons I wanted to make sure you were going to show up, because she really means a lot to me. One of my, if not my day one streaming, is DJ 50. His name is Paul Pati, aka Junior Pati. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with him. Don and I are very familiar with him. He was one of the guys on Facebook who came into my stream. I'm streaming Facebook and I'm doing my same little spiel, talking smack, playing music. And he messaged me afterwards and he says, "Bro, I like what you do, man. Where are you from? You're from Maui?" And I go, "Yeah. But my family lives up in Santa Rosa, California, 707. And he goes, "Bro, I live in 707. I'm from Santa Rosa, blah, blah, blah." And we immediately just gravitated to each other. I didn't even know his story. I'll give you his story in a minute, but I didn't even know, he didn't know anything about me. I didn't know anything about him. Next thing you know, I'm at his house and we are on his couch in the garage, just chopping it up. And come to find out, he's got a medical condition. He is not sure how long he has to live. I'm not even going to get into it, but we ride for that brother right there, like nobody's business. Don knows he's from the same neighborhood in Honolulu, KPT, Kalihi Park Terrace, and both of these guys are heroes, good examples of what you can do to get out of wherever you're at, man. And yeah, 50, that's my guy. And Cal Penna mods for myself and she mods for 50. She was our original mod and still is. Hit that sound on. Oh, there is Kev Hawaii. Big up to you, Kev. There it is. Kaimuki in the building. Hold tight, chat. We ain't going anywhere. Kev Hawaii, good to see you, my brother. Kaimuki in the house. Can you hear Don? Oh, I think we broke Don's mic. I think you need to pop that cord out and redo it. I'm about to take over the show. Juice on the loose, Styles, Cartel, Por Vida, Cal Penna. Good to see you, sis. Again, just by the showing of all these people in here, like I said, we got almost 100 people in here, and we're from all over the world. This is I'm sure this is one of Don's long-term visions as well as mine. It's to gather everybody from around the globe. Jeff B, you already know. We're going to keep it rocking. Dijon Mustard, Kathy A, thank you so much. And this is a perfect example of how we bring everybody together. You know, Don's still trying to get his mic. I love it. Island Man, you ready for some beats? Shoot, I got it right here. Greg Rich, another one. Oh, my day one right there. My boomerang raid, brother. Greg Rich, as a matter of fact, yesterday, I think was the first time that there was no boomerang. Come on, man. You got to get it. I met Greg Rich. He's from Canada. Again, connecting the dots all from around the globe. We didn't know each other, Greg. I didn't know you. You didn't know me, but we vibed right from the beginning, and we've been rocking ever since, man. This is, again, a perfect example of it's not about what you do. It's not about who you are. It's about connecting with all these folks out here. BNS 305, yes, just rocking, man, doing my stuff, bro. Just talking smack and having some fun with these guys. And if you turn into my stream, you'll see how we rock, man.
Sorry.
Here it comes.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me,
Don,
Mark?
I can hear you just fine. Yes, you're back.
Oh, okay.
Papa Us, I nako. Yes, he is a new grandpa. That's right.
I am. I is.
And he has finally entered the club. I am a grandfather of 3. I have baby Zane. I have Ocean. And I'm going to touch on this real quick because DIVA929 brought it up. My granddaughter Ocean and my granddaughter Avery. My daughter, one of my daughters, she is a kindergarten teacher in Baltimore, Maryland.
No way.
That's awesome. The most difficult school district in the country. And she is a kindergarten teacher and is a living example of, it starts from the ground up.
Yeah, it does. Definitely, it does.
You were touching on, what can we do as a society to improve ourselves and to prevent all of this, unnecessary violence and just nonsense that goes on. It starts at home. And it doesn't have to be your mom or your dad or your aunt or your uncle. It's just it's your whole tribe. It's your whole community. It's teachers, like you were saying about teachers. They have a big impact. Yep. I remember my 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Tice, at Markham Elementary School in Hayward, California. She was my favorite teacher, and check this out. She taught me the Mexican hat dance. She taught me the pata pata. She taught me all of these. Nice. You know what I mean? You need that, because when you grow up, you understand that it wasn't the person, it was what they gave to you. And even if it's just little tidbits, I don't know why I remember that. My wife always says, how do you remember all these silly little random facts? It's because it's stuff like that sticks with you wherever you go.
Hey, Mark, really quick. Is Nick Styles? Oh, crap. Nick Styles is here.
Oh, my brother.
Shout out to the one and only Nasty Nick is in.
Tell him, Nick. Tell him, Nick.
Nasty Nick is here. What up, Nick?
It finally connected that me and Nick Styles are from Maui. I'm going to tell him a little story, Nick, and let's see what he says when I drop this story. We used to DJ this club called Bada Bings. Tell him, Nick. Bada Bings in Kihei. And they told us one night, oh man, you're gonna have this special VIP. He's coming, and we need to make a table so that he can be on his own. But don't say his name. Don't shout him out. Don't do anything when you guys get on the mic. Say anything about it. It was Prince.
No way.
And so nobody could say his name. He came in with a couple bodyguards, a couple girls. Remember that, Nick? And so, we were like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. And he comes up to the DJ booth in his Prince voice and says, yo, you got some of that DMX?
No way. Are you serious?
Yo, you got that Cypress Hill?
Wait, so he was talking to you and Nick?
Yes. We were the DJs. We were the DJs.
Dang.
And yeah, so we did Bada Bings. We did a private show for. I don't even think you did that private show for Prince. I think you were busy, Nick. They called back and said they needed another show at the Mulberry Street Cafe out in Kihei, out in Wailea, and it was Prince and about 50 people.
That's
And
crazy.
we got to do a little private show.
That's
Yes,
crazy.
Nick
man.
Styles remember Bada Bings. And remember Bruce? We need to hook up with Bruce, Nick Styles. We need to go find that numbskull. But yeah, so again, this Twitch brought us back together. And we also did a show for Tyrese out there. Remember that one, Nick? We did quite a few shows together, and it was good fun, man. Those were kind of our shaping days. Again, I'm gonna say this. Everything that we have done up to this point has led us to this point. If we didn't go through all the stuff that we went through to get to this point, we'd be lost. We wouldn't know what to do. And whether you're a small streamer, whether you're a big streamer, whether you've got 3 people or 500 people, it doesn't matter. You're gonna do your thing. You turn into Scratch Bastard. He's one of my. I'm mind blown when I see him on screen. I've bought all of his DVDs. I see Icy Ice on screen. I bought all the Beat Junkie CDs. I see Jazzy Jeff. All these big time people on there. But again, they're just people. I also want to touch on this because we have some really, really influential people. I'm not even going to talk about streamers. I'm talking about the mods. I'm talking about the supporters over there.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Princess,
Absolutely.
Nancy, Rick, Aloha Mish, Philip. Philip, you can go on and on. He introduced me to Jay Brown. I got a picture with Jay Brown because of him. All of these people, and you will attest to this. We had last year, when was it? August something. We did a West Coast meetup, Northern California, Southern California, whatever it was. Twin Spin put it together. I got to give a shout out to Twin Spin, my brother Young Cho, who I found out I went to school with his sister. I went to junior high with her. Didn't know that. He put the thing together at the Plank, kind of like a Dave and Buster sports bar. And I'm sure nobody exactly knew what to expect, but we were all intrigued and said, you know what? We're going to go. We're going to show up. So I was in Portland. I drove 655 miles with my wife down to come to this event. Me and 50 and the rest of our 707 crew said, we're going to go down there. We're going to check it out. And I'm sure you did the same thing. You came all the way from Honolulu. And nobody even knew you were coming. You know what I mean? That's how epic it was. And so we all get together, and there's, I don't know how many was there, 200 people. That was a big one.
It was a lot of people there. Yes. It was dope, man. Super dope.
And we all got together, and it was like we had been together for 30 years. Theo was there, Curse was there, Icy was there. Philip was there. Jay Brown performed. D1 Drew. I can go on and on. Shao. All these people that are in this chat are in there. Kim Vin, Flip the Beats. And really, I think that was one of the pivotal events that kicked off this whole forest fire that we are now. Now we do it all over. You guys are killing it in Hawaii. Those guys are killing it down in LA. Those guys are in NYC. I've seen, Smooth G's got a little meetup that they do. I'm sure NAM is going to be crazy as well. But it's those types of things where you get to put names to faces. I wish I could have posted some pictures up here because I've got all those pictures from the Plank. I got DJ 360. I got Verz. I got you. I got Jaybird, Shao. It just goes on and on. And these guys are all real factors in the Twitch community. We all, you guys, I'm like this.
Whatever is, man. It's all of us, bro.
You guys carry a big part of that. There it is. Greg Rich has a picture of me and Turn. We're battling each other. We're popping on the dance floor at that event. He called me out, so I had to represent. Stress was all stress. I don't even want to talk about stress. he was in
Stress,
rare form that one.
bro. Stress was an event in that event.
I'm lucky I left early that night. That's all I know.
He's like, I was there. Yeah, you were there after your first shot. After your first shot, you were everywhere.
Oh yeah, good fun. I'm sure the plank was like, oh my God, what did we just buy? What did we just get into? But yeah, I think that was a very pivotal event though, because that just solidified that anything is possible. You put all of these minds together and just put out the bat signal, and the next thing you know, I mean, I'm watching these guys at the rear ones, and it is blossomed into some crazy stuff. And it is the DJ, the music is what brings us together. But I think it's the camaraderie and the connections that keeps us. Yeah, absolutely.
Amen. Amen.
So let me just touch on a couple of things. Chateau Mog, thank you so much for being here. Katie Lash, thank you so much for being here. So I started off on Twitch, and we have the tightest of network of people. I have my California folks, I have my Hawaii folks, I have my LA folks, but we all were kind of scratching our heads wondering, like, how do we spread out? What's the next move? What is the next thing that is going to touch a entirely new market? You even said when we had a little talk, you're swimming in this pond. Let's go. Let's jump out. Let's go in the ocean. Let's go in the deep end and see what we could do. And it was, not even that long ago that I was approached by a couple of gentlemen that are in here and said, hey, we're putting together this quote unquote master class that will kind of network all of these DJ like minds with each other. So I saw this and it said master class. And I'm like, oh, am I going to be a teacher? Am I going to give a seminar? I wasn't sure exactly what it was all about. So I was intrigued and I said, okay, let me check it out. And in the beginning, I wasn't sure. I honestly, I was not sure what to expect and how, you could get, 500 years worth of DJ experience together and show me something new that I don't know already. You know what I mean? We all come to the tables. I've been doing this 20 years. I've been doing this 30 years. I've been doing this forever. You can't teach me anything new. And I will have to say these guys and girls taught me something new. They taught me, and here's one of the original statements that they said. I will take heart over talent any day. And it took me like 10 minutes to sink in what that meant, heart over talent. Well, Michael Jordan is the most talented person. He, LeBron is the most talented basketball player. What do you mean? And if you even think about that even further, Michael Jordan didn't just wake up and became the most talented basketball player. He had the most heart. He got cut from his, high school basketball team. He didn't get picked first round. It was heart that got him over the top.
Yes, sir.
And these guys and girls show me the meaning of that. We are now in a network. I don't even want to call it a network. We're just a bunch of people, that all are like-minded, that have put our hearts together and said, Don, you as a streamer, you can accomplish XYZ. Aloha Mish as a merchandise seller, you can accomplish XYZ. By the way, this is Aloha Mish's shirt. If you guys want the merch, click on Aloha Mish's link. I love you, sis. Thank you so much for everything you do. But we cannot do it alone.
No, we cannot.
So, us as individuals can accomplish what we can. Auntie Jojo, thank you so much for being here, sis. That's Fullerton in the building. But as a collective group of minds, you could accomplish so much more. And And I will have to say that as of lately, I have been feeling that, that I accomplishing more, growing my horizons, networking. And when you and I first talked, we talked about Wisdom Wednesdays. It was like almost a year ago, right after
Yeah.
5-0. You're like, bro,
Yes.
got to get
Yes.
you on here. Got to get you on here. And we're doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And again, I think it has come full circle. Now it is not about, hey, let's figure this out. It's like, nah, we got to make the time. Now is the time. I don't think it was time a year ago. We wouldn't have nothing to say. We'd be like, yeah. Okay. Now we have so much to say. An hour is just not enough. We can go on and talk about all these folks in here, what they do. DJ Allier, the movement. There's the brother right there. Allier, I got to say something about you. I don't even know this gentleman personally, but I see him. I'm in his streams. I see his vibe. I remember seeing his post that says, I'm not going to stream anymore. And I was like, hold up. What chain of events came to that?
Yeah.
And I was wondering, and now I see him back, but I see him back stronger than ever.
Yeah, with a talk show.
Yes. So again, it's just that mindset. It's the focus. I'm sure he did the same thing. He pivoted and said, how do I, and this was the word I was talking to my man, Tonga Kid, Lipoy, another Bay Area legend, CMC Music, Chewy Gomez, the whole deal. How do we work smarter, not harder? Mm. And, I think we're all kind of trying to figure that out as we go. Twitch it's still a baby, as far as us for DJs go. Yeah. We're Controversial was just saying it. Shout out to my man Controversial. We just scratched the surface. We are scratching the surface on what the potential is. Big time. Big time. And I can't wait to see what's next. Oh, there's my man DJ Vance. Hold up, let me shout out my man right there. His name is Vance Sacato. He is from LA via Hawaii, another 808 connection. Lives up in Seattle, and it was funny because I was streaming, and this guy messaged me on the side and was like, "Hey, Sandman." He didn't know me. I didn't know him. He's like, "I love what you do, man. You actually DJ. You actually have a stream where you have 2 turntables and you mix and you do all the stuff that, I'm into." And we've been hooking up ever since. So now that I live out here in Portland, I would say, what is it, Vance? Every 2 to 3 months, I go up to his house. He's been to my house. I go to his house. This guy, in case you didn't know, his name is DJ Vance. There he is right there. Yes, he said, Don brought me to my channel. Nice. I love it. Again, bridging the gaps. Vance is the DJ hoarder.
Sorry, I just heard DJ Whore. What was that?
DJ hoarder.
Oh, my bad. My bad, Vance. I'm sorry. Vance has he's got 30 turntables.
Bro, that's only what's on camera.
Mixers that you see.
That's only what's on camera.
He's got records.
He's got a QFO in the back that he won't even let anybody touch.
This mofo got a QFO.
Mofo got a QFO. and one of these days I'm gonna be fast and I'm gonna get out of there with it, man. But no, Vance is a really, really wonderful guy. I'm so glad that Twitch brought us together. Big up to him and Anna. Congratulations. I know they're planning on a wedding, but yeah. So the next thing you know, I'm in Vance's basement and we are getting busy. And
Wait, you and Vance were getting busy?
Getting busy in the literal sense.
Oh, interesting. This is very interesting. That took a hard left.
Spicy chat. Spicy chat.
It's getting bastos. Wait. Is 206 Asia here? What the hell?
Oh man, there's my other sis right there. But yeah, so next thing I know, I got me, Disco B, and I know Disco B's in here. And Vance are in the basement, and we got a little set going. So we do this thing called the Super Stream. Whenever we can, whenever the schedules line up, and we got 6 turntables, 3 DJs.
It's dope, man. That's dope.
And a bunch of Miller Lite beer.
You know what? Miller Lite should reach out to Vance and sponsor him. You see, if you've never been on DJ Vance's channel, I can guarantee you're going to see this. A whole bunch of turntables, a whole bunch of equipment all over the place, dope records all over the place. and Miller Lite cans stacked in every possible way you can find them. Like they should sponsor him.
Yes,
If
and
there's
shout out.
anyone that deserves it.
I
Yeah.
gotta say, because we have the super stream, we also have the super mods that come out. Cameron Dory and
Yes.
Nancy as well, and my honey, yes, always hold it down, and it has again kind of proved the point that it doesn't matter where you are. Somebody will jump on a plane and say, I'll be there. They'll jump in the car and say, I'll be there. What is it going to take for us to be in the same room together? I mean, you are an ambassador of that. You kind of set the tone for I'll be there.
Yeah.
Save a plate for me. Give me some
Yes.
tinfoil and I'll make
right,
it.
man. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know that you guys are planning on some big stuff out in Hawaii. I wish I could come. Please have a wonderful time out there. Spread the aloha to all these folks that come out. Another one, and he's your guy, Mashup Mike. He's in here right here. Come to find out, Maui brother right there, Maui Lani. My son, his family, they have a house probably about 2 blocks from Mashup Mike's house. Yep.
Are you serious?
Yep. Right out there in Maui Lani. But again, it's a wonderful thing that we all, it's kind of like what do they call that? The 6 steps of Kevin Bacon or whatever it is.
6 degrees of separation.
There's 6 degrees of separation, but something about Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
So, yes. if you go six steps down, somehow we are all connected.
Yes.
One way or another. There's Disco B. That's my brother right there, Ben. Big up, my man. Lockdown. Salute, my brother. Yeah. So, we could, like I said, go on and on. Were we in OT yet or what?
It's all good, man. It's all good, brother.
Yeah,
it's all good, man.
It is.
So what's the next step for Sandman Sound Factory, right? You're vibing. You're doing really, really good. Your chat is super dope. Your mods are freaking dope on a rope. And of course,
Kathy A, thank you. Jane Blue, thank you. Lady J, thank you. Jenny Leilani, thank you. My honey, yes, please, thank you. Mel, thank you. Good to see you. K-Rod, Kim Vin, all the folks. I would
what's
say
the next step?
Like the only thing that is for certain in the next step is that we are going to keep spreading these vibes. We are going to keep reaching out as far and as wide along the globe and the universe. If we can get outside Earth, it's all good. I will make it happen. If we can get internet up on the moon, we'll stream up there, because I think that, and I kind of took a page out of your book. The more diversity you could get in your community, it only benefits you. I mean, we got Kuihara that comes in. We got Scotland out there. We get Brazil out there. That's what gets me juiced.
Yeah.
I see these guys from the UK, Ray Domingo, all these guys, that's what gets me amped and ready to do it again. I mean, you can have all the hype trains as you want and get people to resub and all this stuff as you want. But if it's only the same little community, that doesn't really excite me. What excites me is when somebody that comes out of some other continent steps in and said, oh, I'm in Sydney, Australia. Marie of Sid, I see her. And I was like, wow, she's here and she's in my channel, and she came back a second time.
Yeah.
That's what really gets it is when they come back.
Yes.
And it's a good feeling. And I think that is next, is just keep that, keep that progression. If the numbers come, the numbers come. If you have to get the numbers, if that is your priority, then you're kind of losing focus on what you actually started it for, because we started it. We didn't know anything about numbers. We didn't know anything about you got to do this and you got to do this. We just wanted to spread as much aloha as we could to as many people as we could, and then learned about all this other stuff that comes with it. So I think if you stay with priority number 1, which is spreading the vibes, it's all going to come back. You see, there's Sandman Squad all day long.
Yep.
I love it.
Right.
I love it.
Right. No, absolutely, bro. favorite quote, any words to live by? I know you have your quote that you always share
Yep.
and things on your stream, but if there's
Yep.
anything else that you'd
Yep.
like to share with the chat room, what
The
would it be?
the mantra is sounds for your soul, music for your mind. Not a long time, but a good time. But I think the quote of the day that I kind of have fell into. It's something that is said by, again, I'm quoting some sports people: Michael Jordan, John Wooden, Bill Walton. It's stay ready so you don't have to get ready. It's stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah.
Because if you were to call me and say, yo, Sandman, yo, Mark, are you ready? Oh, no, I'm not ready yet, bro. Let me do this and let me do this. It would show in this show. We'd be having
Yeah.
difficulties, or we wouldn't have enough to talk about. There'd be no content. I
Yep.
think you and I and a lot of us out there, we've been preparing for this we've been ready. We've been ready. And it was just a matter of turning on the switch.
Yep.
You know, and so I think and this doesn't even apply to DJing, and this applies to what's going on out there in the world. If we're ready for whatever comes our way, we're going to be, it's not going to be shocking to us. We'll be prepared. And I think that moving forward as catalysts, because really, and I was talking to my man Derek B, another one of my Bay Area people, because I was like, man, I'd love to have my own channel and I love to do this and I love to do this. He's like, bro, you have it already.
Yeah.
You do it every week. You do it 3 times a week. You have an audience. He's like, just put it out there. And I never thought of it that way. I thought, you're always not looking at what you have. You're looking at, what's out there, and so, I think, again, being ready and being motivated. I do this again. It's you have Wisdom Wednesdays, I have Hump Day Vibes, but on Mondays it's Monday Motivation. That's what gets me motivated.
Yes.
And so yeah, guys, yeah, girls, thank you.
When are you streaming next, bro?
I am doing Aloha Friday. I'm going to go on a little bit early. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing a raid train. It was one of my first raid trains in about 2 or 3 months. It's the Good Music Raid Train with my man Double O from Canton, Ohio, Hall of Fame city right there. It's got some really good people. My man Tantrum is opening up. Can't wait to get with you, Tantrum. That's South Carolina.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that man, again, everybody brings some table. Just found out, or being with the group, he DJ for T-Pain.
Dope. And T-Pain's on Twitch.
Yes. Yeah. Again, full circle. But
yes.
yeah, I'm going to go on early. I think I'm going on 10 a.m. Pacific time. That is bright and early your time, 7 a.m. But yes, be there, be square.
Nice. Super dope. You talked about, just as you're moving up and looking at different things because you want to expand, and sometimes you're going to lose some people or choose to kind of hang out with a different group of people because they kind of have the same vibe as you. And so I was scrolling through social media, actually through Instagram, and I found this quote, and I think it's fitting to what I'm to what we were talking about earlier, Mark. And the quote is this: some people are just the journey, not the destination, so understand the difference.
Wow, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And that kind of is twofold, because without the journey, the destination wouldn't mean anything.
Well, that's where you learn everything, though, right?
Yeah.
It's the journey, right?
And my dad, again, perfect example, that kind of free-spirited hippie mindset of everywhere we would go, he'd say, let's take the long way. And I'd be like, why? Why? We could get there in 2 hours if we just jump on the 5. And he said, no, let's take the coast. Let's take a drive. Let's make this journey something. And then when you get there, it's going to mean so much more. And I think that that's a wonderful, wonderful way to kind of look at what we're doing. This is a journey. We're on chapter 1.5 of 13 or whatever you want to call it, and I can't wait to see what the next chapter has.
Again, like I mentioned when Diva was on, right? You're either growing or decaying. right? And
Yeah.
so for everybody, like you just got to keep moving, right? And then it's when we're stagnant, that's when we realize, oh, sometimes we can get into trouble, right? And so, you know, like if you told me like a year and a half ago, like, hey, you're gonna jump on this platform called Twitch and you're gonna DJ and you're gonna have a show, you're gonna do a talk show, I would turn and say to you, man, you crazy as hell, dog.
Yep.
Right? But
Yep.
that's all part of the journey. That's what I'm talking about because
No.
it's never ended, right? You
Yeah.
just keep pushing, you move, you hit that top of the mountain, right? It's yeah, then you climb the next mountain because it's and then you just keep going,
No,
right?
I agree. And you know, if had you asked me that question, my turntables were packed with dust on them and had no intention of coming out anytime soon.
Yeah.
And you know, to be doing what we're doing, and again, I think it's not what I'm doing now. It's what I did in 1988 and 89 and 90 and 95 and 98 and 2001 that have kind of put it all in perspective.
Hmm.
And I remember my mom and my dad telling me, you know, what are you doing? You're in your room and you playing all this music and you buy all these records and you spend all your money on this and blah, blah, blah. And my stepdad says, man, you got something, you know, all this stuff we used to, you know, criticize you and tell you, you know, what is that? It's going to be a passing fad, this break dancing and passing fad, all this hippity hoppity music that you're doing, you know. And now he looks at me and we sit down and we have dinner and he goes, man, you had it right all along, you know. And I say, I guess I did. I don't know, you know. We'll see.
Yep, we'll see. So let me
Yeah.
play this clip right here. And we talked about like just moving up, moving forward, bridging the gap, right? Jumping to the next from a pond to the ocean.
Yep.
And I think Snoop Dogg said it best. So check this out and let's talk about this real quick.
But but as you grow, you lose certain homies because it's called closing the gap. This is the gap when we start. This is the gap as you grow. Notice how you grow and they don't. So how do you close the gap? You got to come back down. When you come back down, you lose. So you got to keep going up. That's why closing that gap got to be them catching up to you. And if they don't catch up, you got to leave them behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, and I think again, in any circle, everybody has, if you ask the same 10 people the same question, or you ask 10 different people the same question, you're going to get 10 different answers. What,
Hmm.
you know, is their motivation behind it? So, you know, I have to kind of take that with a grain of salt and say, you know, what motivates me might not be what motivates you. And I think, again, growing up in Hawaii and really seeing what aloha means has again prepared me for this particular way of communicating with people, because you
Yeah.
see it, you go in other people's chats and you know, it doesn't matter where you're from, it doesn't matter what culture you're at, it doesn't matter what kind of music you're playing, either you feel the aloha in their room or you don't. And as time goes on, like he was saying, the gap goes like this. You
Yep.
know, I see my man Greg Rich in there. You know, Greg Rich is all about community. And we kind of said that from the get-go. When we started, we did a thing called the Boomerang Rave for almost a year and a half. And that was our mantra. Again, that was what we were talking about, is we keep it community based. You know, you're not trying to, it's not about egos, it's not about, you know, trying to be the biggest or the best, because there's always going to be somebody bigger, there's always going to be somebody better.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that there's not a place for you in this, you know, ocean, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And I think that as time goes on, yes, there will be a little bit of this separation, but at the same time, as long the ones that really mean stuff to you, they're going to respect you no matter what, whether you're here, or here. If they're really your ohana, they're going to respect you no matter what. You don't have to. You don't have to be friends. They don't have to be best buddies, but we have respect for each other.
Yeah, but also at the same time, even with family members, right? Because they're the ones that can be the most detrimental to you.
You got that right.
You know, I mean, it's really, I think, you know, from my own little life experience, it's really what, you know. The analogy is this: you take you take an orange, right? It's not peeled yet, but you squeeze it enough, and the juice comes out. It's still an orange.
Yep.
Right. And so it's really what's inside of you. So let me play this clip because you brought it up. I want to play this clip. It's again, Out of the Mouth of Babes.
Level 2 hype train, 81%. Thank you guys so much for the love.
Thank you guys so much for that. Where is it? But she makes so much sense of what she said. I'm trying to fire. Here it is. So check this out, Mark. Check this out. Watch.
You want me to help, Rose?
No. Thank you. No, thank you.
What do you want me to do?
What about yourself? What about yourself? I'll do this one, so gonna do that. You drive! What about yourself? Go drive!
Worry about yourself.
Yes. Spoken like a true 2-year-old. They are already grown.
You're like, worry about yourself. You drive. You go. You drive, right?
Yes.
And I think for many times, I think the saying is, if you're worried about what other people, you know, will think and say about you, you'll never be happy. You know, I mean, worry about yourself. Just do you. It's fine, because not everyone's gonna like you. You gotta accept that. You're not gonna please everyone,
and
it's okay.
We see it as well on the in the Twitch realm, the Twitch multiverse. You know, there's folks that are genuine, and then there's folks that have ulterior motives, and you know, over time. In the beginning, that may fly, but over time, those ulterior motives are going to make themselves known. And again, you're going to have to make that decision. Is this someone you want to be with in that capacity, whether it's, you know, an acquaintance, friends, and they even say, you know, I mean, you know, you're a officer of the law, guilt by association. You know, and you know, it ain't about you, what you do. You may not be the one that just stole that car, but you're sitting right next to the guy who did. So therefore, I've already have a perception of, you know, what may happen or what your motive may be. And, you know, I hate to say that society, you know, Twitch is like one little slice of society. Society in the whole is that. And we have to kind of make those tough decisions. I'm sure you've had to make very tough decisions moving forward. You know, and again, not that they're not your friends and not that they're not your family, but you've got to make the smart decision for you. Like you said, you know, worry about you. And if they're with you, they're going to be with you no matter what. They're going to support you in times when you're down here, and they're going to support you in your times when you're up here.
Like, well, for example, so like, you know, I have a group of friends and even some of my family members, like, we love each other.
Level 4,
we're
thank
awesome.
you so much.
Yeah, thank you, everybody. We're awesome together. But then when it comes to certain topics, such as business, because none of them own businesses, right? They're great at sharing what they think a business should be run. Right. And so I don't get into conversations with them because they get very defensive, but they don't understand how a business works. They seem to think, oh, look, he owns a business, which means, oh, he must have a lot of money. You know, I mean, yeah, the money is great, but there's all these different factors in terms of costs, and then taxes and overhead, and
the bigger your venture, the bigger your expensive. I mean, my family, we ran our own business pretty much our whole life, and I will say, my dad is the very, very most creative person out there, but he was not very good with business. He had to, finally marry my stepmom, and she actually worked for Jerry Brown, the governor of California,
No
in the
way.
accounting department. So
No
he
way.
finally made the smart decision, and aligned himself in such a way that, and again, no one person can do it all. It takes a team,
It
and it
does.
takes commitment from the entire team. Whether it's your family, your friends, your business colleagues, they have to be 100% in. And that's one thing I will say about my 69 crew that we're with, whatever we want to call ourselves. We are just a bunch of folks out there, but we are committed to each other. And these guys and girls have displayed what it means to be committed. And you think in hindsight, oh man, it's just supporting. It comes naturally. Well, for some, it doesn't come naturally.
Yeah.
If you have to work at supporting someone, then we need to examine again what's your primary motivation behind it. Because I have kind of connected with people that they are 100% committed and even 110%. I'll give it a perfect example. My man Ahatagni right here in New Delhi, he works at being committed probably 25 hours a day. I'll maybe work about 5 hours a day at being committed. That guy, he'll say it himself, he's team no sleep. And it's those type of people that, again, we're not family, but we're family because of what, it's kind of like when you go out on patrol duty, you're only as strong as the guy next to you and as the girl next to you.
Yeah.
I believe it, man. I believe it.
And Ahi talking is good peeps, man.
Good peeps.
Such a
I concur.
really, really good. Yeah.
I concur.
Good peeps. I know from what I heard, he's fallen on some hard times, and I'm not sure if I'm supposed to share that, but like, let's put something together for him, man. Let's help him.
It's already done, already in the works.
So let me know how I can be part of that, because I
Absolutely.
want to be part of,
Absolutely.
because he does so much for the Twitch community. And here's the thing, right? Just because he doesn't do
Nancy,
it for your channel, like, again, if you believe in the law of the universe of what you put out, you get back. Once you can understand that, then many of your decisions should be fairly much easier to give a yes as opposed to a no, right? Like, I see Ahi Tagni, he jumps on my channel, he's there to support, but I know he's there to support most of, like, he's with you guys, right? And then you guys are full in, and same way, like, I see him, I'll lurk on his channel, but I'll give to him because of who he is as a person, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't necessarily, maybe, in terms of bits and subs, which for me, like, greatly appreciated, not necessary, but greatly appreciated. But I'll support him. Why? Because he'll do it for the next person, and then he'll do it for the next person.
Absolutely.
That's the sole reason why I would do it.
It's the pay it forward mentality. And if everybody takes that approach to everything every day, we wouldn't be dealing with 90% of the stuff, the minutia that we do deal with. It's the folks that say, what's in it for me?
Did you just say minutia? That's a private school word, man. Like, minutia. I think I used to date her.
Damien,
Damien represent minutia. Oh yeah, is she part Filipino? Dang, bro.
Yes, but yeah, and it's not easy to do the right thing all the time. It is not. And there are plenty of times when you could do what's easy or you could do what's right. And that is kind of, now we went down the rabbit hole, because it's not even about Twitch and DJing. Now we're talking, life lessons. DIVA929, she'll attest to that. And all these folks that are in here can attest to that. I can just run down this list right here. Booters, K-Rod. Look at Nancy with the 5-piece. Thank you so much,
Nancy.
What the heck, Nancy? Ahit, Claudie Queen, Greg Rich, Aloha Mish. They could do what's easy or they could do what's right, and they They do what's right. They live aloha. I mean, you guys drive around. We drive around with those stickers on our bumper all day long. Live aloha, and it's two little simple words, but it means a lot. It some people they can't even comprehend that. And it's again, I'm fortunate enough to have I come from the Bay Area, growing up in that mentality where you don't have time to live aloha. I tell you that right now, because if you live aloha, you will get steamrolled by those folks down in LA. They'll tell you aloha miss. She's got it. I'm surprised. I don't know how you guys do it in Southern California, because it is not easy to live that, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I came up here to Portland, because this probably next to Hawaii is they have the aloha up here, and almost too much sometimes. Please, thank you, excuse me, thank you so much. Oh, I'm only going 52 miles an hour. but I'll take that any day of the week.
Man.
I love
crazy,
it.
Man.
Even Vance will tell you. He tells you he went Alpha Music's channel and said, I'm the slowest driver ever.
No stresses.
Stress must be from Maui too. That's what I tell him. I grew up on Maui, Highway 30,
stress is, that's because stress is Korean Chinese, man. He's cheap and he wants to save on gas. This motherfucker cheap.
Oh, he's concerned. He's smart.
Oh, there he is. Oh, sorry. See, look. But that's my boy, so we let him go.
Okay.
So stress, when you come in Hawaii, you don't need to drive. I'm gonna just push your car because we'll get there faster. We'll get there quicker, man. I'm gonna get like 6 Samoans and we'll just do an island tour, and we'll just you just relax.
He can ride around one of those little electric scooters.
Oh yeah. Yes, you know that, man. Shout out to DJ 5150 Steph. She's coming to Hawaii.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of people coming out, man. Yeah, DJ Booters, man. What's up? Yeah, the gas prices, crazy. See, it doesn't affect me because my police car, my gas for me is free. But for my wife's car, I got to put gas. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, man. It's super crazy, man.
Yep. Oregon, the gas is cheaper and you don't have to pump your gas. Bro, mind-blowing. Mind-blowing.
That's dope.
Yes.
That is dope.
Yes, and they give my dog snacks, so I gotta shout out the Chevron gas attendant.
You got him, man. You got him, bro. You got him, man.
Oh, good, man.
Bro,
this
I appreciate
awesome.
you so much, man.
Yes.
Thank you for jumping on Wisdom Wednesday. I appreciate you, man. I mean, I remember from the beginning when I first jumped on Twitch, that's when you were like one of the first people I met. And I mean, look at us now, man. Look at everybody here. Look at what we created, all of us. You and me and the rest of the people in the chat room. So
yes,
man.
No, I firmly agree. And I think this is, again, we're just scratching the surface, man. You guys, we are all in here. And the crazy thing is each and every one of these people right here has their own network of folks, and that is what this place has allowed us to do, is kind of tap in. We're going to DJ Ye stream, and next thing you know, we're in Australia.
Seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, man.
Just turn your volume down before you go in his stream a little bit.
But yes, yeah. Yeah, forewarned. But man, I appreciate you. So we're gonna go hit over Garoish's channel.
This is my man, DJ Garoish. Yeah. He is from Ottawa, Canada. He is a orchestra band teacher. This man is classically trained. Please show him the love like you guys showed Don the love. You show me the love. I'll see you guys on the next stream. Love you guys. Big up, Don, man. Love you, bro.
Oh, thank you, Mark. I appreciate it. Next week, Wisdom Wednesday. We got B-Stang, DJ Everready, man.
There you
next
go.
Week.
Las
Look,
Vegas.
The fact that I actually have something for next week is amazing to me because I...
Awesome, you guys. Thank you so much for having me,
man.
Diva.
Man,
thank you so much.
Yes, I love you, bro.
You
Our sister DIVA929. I love you, sis.
Thank you, Jane
I'll
Blue,
see you in July.
Ken, thank you, Jenny. Thank you. Yes, please. I love you.
Styles Cartel Por Vida. Thank you so much.
All right,
yes,
I gotta
please,
go eat dessert.
Thank you. Hey, go have some dessert, man. We'll rate
Mahalo
up.
nui, you guys. Thank you.
Appreciate you, man. Hold on, Mark. Hold on, really quick, buddy.